In the surface of the extreme sky prairie, Zhang Daosong and the old man named Zhao looked at the ground with suspicion. They clearly felt a powerful aura rushing out from the depths of the earth. Although they only felt a bit of this aura, it was enough to make their hearts skip a beat. It was as if a huge heavenly bull had awakened and was letting out a roar as it charged up toward the sky. The two of them weren't the only ones who felt this. The four cold green devil messengers all had solemn expressions as they stared at the earth. The four of them had been selected among countless children by the three ancestors of the Green Devil continent. They were all extremely talented, and once they reached a certain cultivation level, they were sent to the Green Devil Scorpion Temple to become servants of the Green Devil Scorpion. Over the countless years, there were many messengers like them, but after countless rounds of eliminations and death, only 9 of them obtained the recognition of the Green Devil in the end. These 9 people were all the Green Devil messengers of the Green Devil continent. They were the inheritors of the will of the Green Devil Scorpion that was suppressed under the Green Devil continent. It was because of this that their feelings were much more clear than that of Zhang Daosong and others. They clearly knew that the aura from underground came from a heavenly bull messenger that had obtained the recognition of the heavenly bull. The earth trembled even more violently and muffled rumbles echoed. The grass collapsed and turned into green powder. The wind lifted the powder into the sky, making it cover the surrounding area like a fog. Zhang Daozong's skin crawled, and he was the first to fly up into the air. Behind him was the old man named Zhao. The 4 Green Devil messengers all had serious expressions, but they didn't fly into the air. They quickly dispersed and sat down in 4 different directions. Their hands formed seals and they let out roars. As they roared, large amounts of green gas appeared behind them. The green fog rapidly churned and formed 4 green scorpions. These 4 green scorpions were extremely ferocious. After they appeared, they let out sharp howls and charged into the earth. Immediately after, the 4 of them bit the tips of their tongues and spat out blood. Their hands pressed against the earth. Then they closed their eyes and 4 strands of green gas as thick as an arm rushed out from behind them. The gas gathered in the sky to form a green mirror. Although the mirror was an illusion, it gave off a powerful devilish aura. When Zhang Daosong and the old man named Zhao saw the mirror, their eyes became filled with respect. As the green gas swept across the mirror, a continent appeared. There weren't many mountains on this continent, but there were many swamps. Even some of the mortal cities were built above swamps. It was very strange. The continent looked smaller than the Heavenly Bull continent, only have 70% of the size. However, it was covered in swamps, and the haze around the continent made it look like a dream. The world inside the mirror was the Green Devil continent. As the 4 Green Devil messengers roared, the mirror slowly sank and shrouded the ground between the 4 of them. With this position, it covered the entire extreme sky prairie to suppress it. Deep in the earth, Wang Lin had fused with the heavenly bull behind him and was rushing out. Behind him was the underground palace. He had no intention of becoming a hero. He was doing this not for the heavenly bull continent, but for the 3 conditions. However, Wang Lin understood reason. His soul armor contained the cultivation and blood of more than 1,000 cultivators back in the underground palace. He could not leave by himself. At the very least, he had to ensure their safety before leaving. Now he was going to rush out from the earth to kill 3 mid-stage void turbulent old monsters and complete the second task old ancestor Green Bull had given him. As he charged forward, Wang Lin's face was covered by the black armor, revealing only his cold eyes and his snow-white hair. He was very fast, and he was only a few thousand feet away from the surface in a flash. But just at this moment, Wang Lin's eyes narrowed. He clearly felt 4 very familiar yet disgusting auras appear and charge toward him. He vaguely saw 4 green scorpions fiercely charging at him. Wang Lin felt a sense of disgust and hatred from his heart toward those 4 green scorpions. He knew that this was not from himself but from the soul of the heavenly bull. It was obvious that countless years before the heavenly bull and the scorpion were suppressed by the celestial ancestor, they knew each other. Or rather, they were old enemies. Wang Lin's eyes lit up, and he suddenly stopped. The heavenly bull shadow condensed in his body and disappeared without a trace. Only Wang Lin remained here. There was no hesitation as Wang Lin raised his foot. He no longer charged upward, but instead went toward the west. With one step, Wang Lin moved like a bolt of thunder and disappeared. When he reappeared, there was green gas before him. and a fierce green scorpion charged at him. Before the scorpion got close, it swung its tail. The tail lashed toward Wang Lin like a whip. Wang Lin revealed a cold gaze and completely ignored the scorpion tail lashing at him. He raised his arms and grabbed the earth before him. Heaven ripping. His early-stage void turbulent cultivation had fused with his ancient Dao power to form a spell that was no longer an ancient Dao spell. As Wang Lin's hand suddenly ripped to the earth and a giant rift appeared before him, it extended toward the incoming scorpion. A thunderous rumble rang out. The rift instantly extended to an immeasurable size and collided with the tail of the scorpion. The tail trembled and instantly collapsed. At the same time, the huge rift swept through the green scorpion's body, heading toward the surface. The extreme sky prairie trembled. On the west side, the earth suddenly burst open, revealing a huge crack more than 100,000 feet wide. The earth trembled. The moment the crack appeared, a burst of green gas appeared. There was a miserable scream as it dissipated. One of the 4 green devil messengers turned pale and coughed out blood. One heaven ripping had killed a green scorpion's soul. Wang Lin looked at the scorpion and then turned around to see 3 masses of green gas charging at him. They revealed themselves to be 3 of the same scorpion, and they ferociously charged at him. I wonder, with my current cultivation level, if I use the 7-colored lance, would it have the power of several suns like when Peak the 7-colored celestial sovereign used it? Wang Lin looked at the 3 incoming scorpions with battle intent. He stepped forward. The moment his step landed, the earth trembled as if it was unable to withstand his step. His right hand moved quickly, and he used the 7-colored lance. His speed wasn't much faster than before he put on the armor, but he was several times faster than ordinary cultivators. With a wave of his hand, 7-colored light filled the world, and soon a 7-colored lance appeared. The lance gave off a destructive aura. It was very unstable, as if it could collapse at any moment. The 7-colored light on the lance rapidly changed and condensed into a kind of black. Before, there was no black among red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and purple. However, at this moment, the 7-colored lance was extremely black and was filled with monstrous killing intent. This was the real 7-colored lance. Only once one had reached a certain cultivation level could the 7-colored lance reach its first transformation. Wang Lin raised his hand and grabbed the 7-colored lance's first transformation. The moment he grabbed the lance, it trembled, and the black light changed again into white. This was the 7-colored lance's second transformation. Wang Lin's eyes were filled with killing intent as he held the lance and threw it forward. Thunderous rumbles echoed as the 7-colored lance's second transformation flew toward one of the 3 scorpions. As the white lance flew forward, the color on it changed once more from white to gray. This was the 7-colored lance's third transformation. This was the strongest transformation the 7-colored celestial sovereign could use. The 7-colored lance's third transformation turned gray and closed in on a scorpion. The scorpion let out a howl and spat out a large amount of green gas that collided with the lance. Thunderous rumbles echoed deep underground. The earth continued to tremble and an explosion shot upwards from underground. This caused a large area of the extreme sky prairie to collapse due to the impact, and large amounts of dirt and grass flew into the sky. Unfortunately, the soul armor only increases my cultivation level. It does indeed increase my cultivation level based off my body, but based off the aura of the heavenly bull. If I were at the early stage of void turbulent, I would have 9 essences completed. And if I had 9 essence true bodies, 9 lances would appear. I am confident in destroying all 3 scorpions at once. Wang Lin secretly shook his head. This soul armor was, after all, an external object. Although powerful, it wasn't his own. There are still 2 scorpions left. I can test my other spells to see if there is a need to continue mastering them. Mid-month already, brothers. Do you have likes for the VIDE already? Don't hold back, wishing for those likes. Wang Lin made up his mind and suddenly turned around. The 2 green scorpions before him looked gloomy with a hint of fear. They no longer charged at him but rapidly retreated toward the surface. Wang Lin's strength was beyond the expectation of the 4 green devil messengers. They didn't expect Wang Lin to become so strong after obtaining the recognition of the heavenly bull. This was enough power to instantly erase mid-stage void turbulent cultivators and was infinitely close to a late-stage void turbulent cultivator. This is worthy of the immortal astral continent. If I had this in the cave world, Then neither the seven-colored Taoist nor old ghost John would be been my match. Wang Lin felt emotional. The immortal astral continent must have a way to awaken Wan Er. Wang Lin revealed a determined gaze as he looked at the two scorpions rapidly retreating. He revealed a cold smile and chased after them. The two scorpions fled very fast, but Wang Lin was even faster. With one step, the earth trembled and he instantly closed in. He raised his right hand and his eyes revealed a strange light. War Spirit Print. As his words echoed, Wang Lin pointed forward. With this, the sky above the extreme sky prairie immediately changed. All the clouds scattered and even the light dissipated. A huge palm print large enough to cover the entire extreme sky prairie appeared. After the palm print appeared, it rapidly descended on the earth. It covered up the sun and replaced the sky. It was as if a giant had opened his palm and pressed down on the earth. After it had descended halfway, the top of the palm still could not be seen. This palm was simply amazing. But, strangely, this ordinary-looking palm with clear fingerprints began to shed its skin. It was as if there was a layer of seals wrapped around it, and now it had reached a critical point where the seals could no longer contain it. After the seals collapsed, the palm print that appeared in the sky was similar in size as before, but its appearance was very different. This palm no longer had 5 fingers, but 6 fingers. The 6th finger was red and had long, shocking nails. It was completely different from the other 5 fingers. The remaining 5 fingers in the palm were black, forming a stark contrast with the bright red finger. This palm print seemed to be a fusion of Tao and devil. The 6th finger seemed like the finger of a devil. On the extreme sky prairie, fear appeared on the faces of the remaining 1,000 green devil continent cultivators. As they stared at the sky, their bodies trembled and despair appeared in their hearts. There were also the 2 female early-stage void turbulent cultivators. Their hearts trembled when they saw the palm print, and they took out their strongest defensive treasures and spells without hesitation. At this moment, they didn't have time to pay attention to others. The only thought in their minds was to save themselves from this terrifying palm. Zhang Daozong was dumbfounded. He stared at the giant palm with disbelief in his eyes. Devil Dao Grand Handprint. This is the Devil Dao Grand Handprint. It is a 6-fingered Devil Dao Grand Handprint. This is the most powerful spell of my Devil Dao sect, a secret not passed on to others. Only the sect master of each generation can learn this spell. Other people of the sect can't even learn it, much less people outside the sect. This Wang Lin, how could he know the spell? There was also the old man named Zhao, who was also filled with shock. Without hesitation, he waved his sleeve and his body was shrouded in a blur. His hands rapidly formed seals to cast protection spells. Everything happened in an instant. After the palm transformed, it suddenly fell down on the extreme sky prairie. The more than 1,000 green devil continent cultivators could not resist at all and were the first to die. Their origin souls were completely destroyed. One palm had killed more than 1,000 people. This kind of terrifying power even stunned Wang Lin. This was not the end. The 2 female early-stage void turbulent cultivators had used all their spells and treasures before the palm fell. They coughed out blood and looked weakened. Although they weren't dead, they were seriously injured. All their organs had exploded, and they were holding on by one breath. However, this didn't last long. Their bodies exploded, leaving only their origin souls. Zhang Daosong and the old man named Zhao also coughed out blood, and their faces instantly turned palm. Below them, the 4 green devil messengers trembled and blood flowed out from the corners of their mouths. However, because of the green mirror above them, their injuries went heavy. However, the 2 green scorpions in the earth below them could not bear it. When the palm print landed on the earth, a powerful vibration transferred through the ground. The 2 scorpions let out roars and exploded before Wang Lin. This is the real war spirit print. Wang Lin's eyes shined brightly and he charged for the surface. He was very fast and instantly closed in on the surface, causing the surface of the extreme sky prairie to tremble. Seeing that Wang Lin was about to rush out, fear appeared on the cold faces of the 4 green devil messengers. "We can let him come out." The 4 of them almost roared at the same time. As green devil messengers, their hearts were in sync, and at this moment all 4 of them were filled with fear. As they roared, they put their hands on the ground, and their foreheads touched the ground. This action was like worshipping. However, it was this worship that caused the green mirror to let out a sharp howl and land on the ground. The mirror expanded infinitely and shrouded the entire extreme sky prairie. We summoned the Green Devil Scorpion soul to suppress this person. The four of them spoke at the same time. The voices fused into one that echoed across the earth. The extreme sky prairie suddenly changed, and the prairie disappeared. The earth turned into an endless swamp, and even all the mountains around the prairie disappeared. Everything here became the world of the Green Devil continent. Whether it was an illusion or real, it could be said that the extreme sky prairie had disappeared from the Heavenly Bull continent. Rather, it hadn't disappeared, but had been shrouded by a projection of the entire Green Devil continent. This projection was used as a suppression. There was also Zhang Dao Song, old man named Zhao, and the two female cultivators' origin souls. They had barely survived the war spirit print, and now they were all desperately descending. They used their full cultivation to help the Green Devil messengers with the suppression. They understood that if they were unable to suppress Wang Lin, who had obtained the recognition of the Heavenly Bull, they would meet a terrifying fate. The Heavenly Bull messengers are different from us. They can obtain peak power, but only temporarily. Although I don't know for how long, it can be for too long. As long as we suppress him, we can kill him once the time is up, one of the Green Devil messengers roared. As he roared, Zhang Dao Song and company seemed to be filled with limitless power and expectation. They spread out their cultivation to help the suppression. The earth trembled and thunderous rumbles echoed. Every echo caused everyone's faces to turn slightly more pale. Wang Lin continued to bombard from below. He was going to break the projection and charge out. Realm-burning umbrella. Wang Lin's hands formed seals and countless restrictions appeared. A giant fire umbrella appeared in the sky above the Green Devil continent projection. The umbrella opened for a moment and a monstrous fire descended, burning the projection and the world. The moment the sea of fire appeared, the two early-stage void turbulent female cultivators' origin souls cried out, but they gritted their teeth and sacrificed their life treasures. They joined forces to resist the fire. The realm-burning umbrella didn't have a transformation like the seven-colored lance in the war spirit print. It was still the same, only a lot stronger. But it was still a bit worse than the seven-colored lance in the war spirit print. This spell seems very powerful, but in truth, even the madman only scratched its surface. Even with my current cultivation level, I can display its true strength, or rather, the spell is not as powerful as I thought, and this is the limit, Wang Lin thought to himself. Then I want to try my own spells next. Wang Lin's eyes revealed a strange light as he looked up. He raised his right hand and suddenly waved. The land before him suddenly became blurry and was replaced by the raging sea. This appeared in the eyes of the Green Devil messengers as well. The sea spread out like crazy, and the umbrella in the sky dissipated, replaced by darkness. The darkness released endless chill, and cold winds swept by, shrouding Zhang Daozong and company. To the east, there was a fine golden light, and a rising sun began to slowly appear. It also contained an extremely powerful law of origin. This power could tear apart all darkness and cause all night in the world to collapse. When Wang Lin created this spell, he didn't really understand it, and it was by accident. It wasn't until this moment that he saw the amazing scene inside the sun. This scene startled him. Mid-month and it's been forgotten. Hoping for the like button for the VIDEO, tears start to flow. Is there still time? The sun in the darkness gave off the power of the law of origin. The power to tear open the night contained an inexplicable aura. This aura belonged to Wang Lin because he had created the spell. However, even though it belonged to Wang Lin, not even he understood what the aura was. He just had a feeling that this aura was the root of sundered night and the root of the law of origin. It was formed by Wang Lin's faith. This faith was the faith to tear open the dark night and break out from the ordinary. It was also a heaven-defying will. If the dark night was seen as the layers of bondage on the body, if the dark night was seen as the rules of the world that made a man an ant, if the dark night was the countless mountains that fell on Wang Lin, then the power to tear open the dark night was his true defying will. Unless one had a heaven-defying will, they couldn't create such a spell. If one didn't have something they would not and could not give up, it would be impossible to create this kind of spell. Wang Lin initially didn't understand, but after seeing the aura inside the sun, he vaguely understood why he could create sundered night. Because of his unwillingness to give up Li Muwan, he was going to tear apart the dark night of the world. For Li Muan, he was going to make it so the night could no longer cover his eyes. This was Sundered Night. This was the spell Wang Lin had created for Li Muan. Even though this spell had nothing to do with Li Muan, Wang Lin's heart, will, pursuit, and persistence were all clearly displayed in the first spell he had created. He thought about his Wan Er for a moment inside the sun. Fighting against people, fighting against beasts, fighting against the earth, fighting against the heavens, fighting against space, fighting against all things, fight against the immortal astral continent. All of this was the dark night, and everything Wang Lin had done was for one goal: to tear open the layers of darkness that covered his eyes and search for the light after the darkness of night. This was Sundered Night. Wang Lin didn't understand before, and was confused himself. However, now, with the help of the soul armor and his current cultivation level, he understood it a bit after using Sundered Night. This was the first spell he had created, and the only spell that contained his own faith. It accompanied his indomitable soul and fused with it to form a spell surpassing Dao spells. This spell had completely fused with his body, his life, and his faith. Wang Lin didn't know what kind of spell this was, but Zhang Daosong and company knew. The moment the sea submerged the world, and the sun appeared in the distance, everyone's set's attention was attracted to the only light in the darkness. When the sun appeared and an inexplicable aura spread out, Zhang Daosong's expression changed greatly. His body trembled, and his eyes were filled with disbelief. The appearance of the sun with the inexplicable aura caused his mind to rumble as if millions of bolts of thunder had exploded within him. This aura is Zhang Daozong's face instantly turned pale without any trace of blood, and fear filled his eyes. There was also the old man named Zhao. He stared at the sun, and felt the faint aura that was very light but tenacious inside it. He forgot to breathe. If someone were to tell him that all the cultivators on the Heavenly Bull continent were going to die overnight, he would still not be as shocked and terrified as now. It can be. It's impossible unless he is a reincarnation. The two female early-stage void turbulent cultivators only felt a terrifying aura, but they didn't lose themselves because they didn't understand what that aura represented. They didn't understand, but when the four Green Devil continent messengers saw the sun, their expressions became extremely ugly. There was also extreme fear inside their hearts. This is a faith spell beyond spells and Dao spells, the faith spell that only Grand Empyreans can use. This is definitely a faith spell. Once the sun contains enough faith, it will transform into the strongest spell that is even more difficult to obtain than Dao spells. Only the 9 Grand Empyreans can use faith spells. Rumor has it that faith spells can be inherited. Every faith spell was created by the Grand Empyreans themselves. Who the hell is this person? How could he use a faith spell? Although the faith is not powerful, it exists. Faith spells were above Dao spells, and their power could not be described. These spells required faith, but not the will like the fire essence, but from one's own experience and perseverance. It could be considered the final metamorphosis of domains. Will and faith were completely different, like the difference between the heavens and earth. Only after one's will became strong enough would it become faith, a persistent faith that would never look back. This faith was not just flames, but a firm belief in oneself, a strong belief in what one has done, and that one will persist onward. Domain, essence, faith. Once a domain reaches its limit, the corresponding essence appears. Once an essence reaches a limit, it becomes an essence true body. If the essence true body contains will, then it will transform into a true soul. The reason it was called a true soul was because although there was will, it was extremely difficult to change again. Once it reached completion, it would give birth to faith. Spells, Dao spells, faith spells. These 3 different spells correspond to the 2 metamorphoses of domains. Spells correspond to domains, Dao spells correspond to essences, and faith spells correspond to faith. However, this last level was something only the 9 Grand Empyreans could reach. Everyone else could only look up from below them. Sundered Night was a spell created by Wang Lin, and it contained his life of tearing through the darkness. The reason Grand Empyreans could turn spells corporeal was because their powerful faith could create something from nothing. To create something from nothing was the root of all Grand Empyrean spells. Wang Lin had his eyes closed underground, but he could see everything outside. At this moment, it was as if he had reincarnated into the sun. He looked at the sea below and saw everyone's terrified gazes. I believe you are all part of this dark night. I believe you are all part of what's trying to stop me. I believe that once the sun rises, you all will dissipate with the night. I believe that after the dark night, there will be the light that I have searched for thousands of years. I believe that light definitely exists. It must I believe. My hair is no longer black. The night gave me black hair, but it represents the light. My eyes are no longer black. They contain fire and thunder. Along with the rule-like restriction, the night made my eyes black, but the fire will burn the night. The thunder will light up the night. The restriction will break the rules. I'll use my eyes to see the light. Wang Lin's voice echoed across the sea created by sundered night. These words fell into the ears of the Green Devil messengers, Zhang Daozong, the old man named Zhao, and the two female early-stage void turbulent cultivators. His words were like the Tao scriptures from the past, but right now they contained Wang Lin's faith. Wang Lin opened his eyes. The moment he opened them, the sun at the edge of the sea released a dazzling light. The light spread endlessly, and it contained Wang Lin's faith. It dispelled the darkness and searched for the faith of light. This was faith to defy the heavens and tear open the night to resurrect Li Muan. It was his life as an indomitable soul. This was this first faith spell. The darkness in the sky disappeared without a trace, and the sea also disappeared. The origin souls of the two female early-stage void turbulent cultivators disappeared. There were no miserable cries. They seemed to have been infected by Wang Lin's faith, and they were liberated when the light tore apart the darkness. They smiled as their origin souls were destroyed. The old man named Zhao trembled, and his body was torn apart with the darkness. His origin soul trembled and struggled with the night as he let out bursts of roars. He was unwilling to die like this as a mid-stage void turbulent cultivator. Even though he had an independent avatar back in the Green Devil continent, which would prevent the death of his original body from truly killing him, he was still unwilling. But under the faith spell, his struggle didn't last for long before he smiled, closed his eyes, and dissipated. As for Zhang Daosong, his cultivation level was a bit higher than that of the old man named Zhao. His body collapsed and his origin soul screamed as he retreated. He spat out a hidden jade that emitted a soft light. It protected him for a moment before shattering. Zhang Daozong's eyes were filled with despair. He had never cultivated an avatar in his life, but he held on by a breath. His origin soul began to dissipate under Wang Lin's faith spell, but it wasn't destroyed. He condensed into a ball of light and flew off into the distance. He gradually lost consciousness and barely managed to escape. The sound of the mirror shattering echoed. The Green Devil mirror the four Green Devil messengers had created collapsed, and the projection of the Green Devil continent dissipated. The earth trembled and everything returned to normal. It was still the extreme sky prairie. The four messengers coughed out blood and rapidly retreated. As they retreated, the black-armored Wang Lin walked out from the earth. His white hair fluttered with the wind and a terrifying aura surrounded his body. Mid-month and the hope for likes on the video has slipped by 2 days already. Tears streaming, is there any hope left? The four Green Devil messengers were filled with fear. After being pushed into the air, the four of them looked at each other and escaped in 4 different directions without hesitation. While they scattered, the four used different methods. 2 of them took out treasures. One was a green paper crane, and the other was a white whisk. The 2 of them stood on their treasures and flew off at full speed. As for the other 2, one of them bit his tongue and spat out blood. Green light surrounded him. He fused with the blood and instantly moved 10,000 kilometers. The last Green Devil messenger formed seals and his body began to rotate, forming a tornado that connected the heavens and earth. He quickly flew off into the distance. The 4 had used different methods, but they were all very fast. The moment Wang Lin appeared on the surface, the 4 of them had disappeared without a trace. However, how could Wang Lin let them escape? He was going to complete the conditions old ancestor Green Bull had given him with the 4 of them. At this moment, there was a flash of coldness in Wang Lin's eyes, and he stepped forward. Ripples echoed under his feet, and he instantly disappeared. When he reappeared, he was before the Green Devil messenger that had turned into a tornado. When Wang Lin appeared, he waved his right hand and attacked with thunder. With this attack, the world rumbled and Wang Lin's palm was replaced by thunder. The thunder was dazzling and formed a huge ball of thunder. At the edge of the ball of thunder, there were large amounts of lines that looked shocking. The ball of thunder quickly collided with the green devil messenger that had turned into a tornado. Thunderous rumbles echoed across the world. The tornado collapsed when it collided with the thunder. The countless strands of thunder formed a net that shrouded the terrified green devil messenger. The sound of thunder crackling echoed. The green devil messenger coughed out blood and let out a cry. He was shrouded by the thunder net and fell to the ground. This scene looked shocking from the distance. The thunder net was like cobweb that wrapped around the green devil messenger and completely sealed him. After Wang Lin used the thunder net, his body trembled slightly. The aura coming from his body became unstable. Wang Lin understood that this was a sign that the soul armor was about to lose its effect. The green devil messenger was sealed with the thunder net, and there was no way for him to break out from this thunder net created by Wang Lin with his early-stage void turbulent cultivation that used a fusion of his thunder and restriction essences. Wang Lin didn't hesitate to step toward the west. In a flash, he disappeared. West of the extreme sky prairie, the other green devil messenger was sitting on a paper crane with a pale expression. He was using his full speed to escape like crazy. From his view, what had just happened was simply too terrifying. They had come here to complete the task the old ancestor had given them, kill Wang Lin. Even if there was an accident and Wang Lin obtained the soul armor, he wasn't afraid. After all, he knew some information about the Heavenly Bull soul armor. There was a time limit. But when he saw Wang Lin use Faith Spell, he suddenly understood that Wang Lin was not simple. The Faith Spell that Grand Empyreans can use, he can use it at, well, this is a matter of great importance. I must escape to report it to the old ancestor. However, just as he was thinking about this, his pupil shrank. Before him, ripples echoed and the black-armored Wang Lin walked out. Stay! Wang Lin's eyes revealed a cold gaze. After he walked out, his 8 essences turned into 8 lines that gathered in his palm to form a fist-sized ball. That was him using his powerful early-stage void turbulent cultivation to fuse his essences by force, and he threw it at the green devil messenger. The little ball formed by 8 essences was silent as it shot toward the green devil messenger. The expression of the green devil messenger on the paper crane changed greatly. His hands quickly formed seals, and he pressed it toward the sky. Green devil, enter the body. His voice was sharp and was filled with endless horror. A monstrous green light came from his body and collided with the ball of essences. As thunderous rumbles echoed, Wang Lin moved forward, and there was a flash of bloodlight. He chopped down with the blood sword using his early-stage void turbulent cultivation. Thunderous rumbles echoed. The green light around the green devil messenger collapsed. A bloodline appeared between his eyebrows and his body was cut in half. His origin soul was destroyed along with his body. The blood sword in Wang Lin's hand continued to tremble. With that chop, the blood sword absorbed a part of the blood from the green devil messenger and let out a sharp sword hymn. It had once killed many celestials, but since falling into Wang Lin's hands, this was the highest cultivation level celestial it had killed. The moment the green devil messenger died, the illusion of the heavenly bull appeared around Wang Lin. It let out a roar of excitement as if it was very happy about Wang Lin killing the green devil messenger. The moment the heavenly bull soul appeared, it inhaled. A wisp of green gas came out of the messenger's body. It turned into the shape of a scorpion and struggled a bit before it was devoured by the heavenly bull. Wang Lin was startled, but he didn't pause for a moment. He raised his foot and disappeared. Directly north, the green devil messenger that was escaping using blood escape continued to cough out blood. As a result, he moved faster and faster until he was a blur. In a flash, there was no trace of him. The moment Wang Lin appeared, he only saw a blur and then it disappeared from his eyes. When he turned around, the messenger had turned into a green dot that was gradually disappearing. The void turbulent aura around Wang Lin became even more unstable. It showed signs of falling back to arcane turbulent. His eyes lit up as he stared at the direction where the third green devil messenger was escaping toward. He raised his right hand and quickly pointed in that direction. Stop! A roar came from Wang Lin's mouth. With this, the entire world became dark as if a mysterious power had rushed in and froze everything. This included the third green devil messenger who had already escaped far from Wang Lin. His body trembled and stopped in place. The moment he stopped, there was a flash of bloodlight, and the blood sword swept by. With a loud bang, the messenger's body collapsed, and the heavenly bull soul appeared around Wang Lin, to devour the wisp of green gas the messenger released. He had sealed one person and killed 2 people. Wang Lin's aura rapidly fell back down to the 3rd or 4th arcane tribulant. Wang Lin looked south, where the last messenger had escaped to. After silently pondering for a bit, he gave up on hunting the last one. Instead, he charged toward where the first messenger was sealed. A moment later, an excited roar of the heavenly bull came from where the first messenger was sealed. It had devoured the green gas from 3 dead green devil messengers, and the green gas seemed to be a great nourishment for it. The bloodlight from the bloodsword became even brighter after killing the 3 mid-stage void tribulant messengers. A few ancient characters began to appear on the sword. The characters were not those of cultivators, but of the ancient ones. Wang Lin's white hair fluttered, and his cultivation fell down to late-stage arcane void. He looked very tired as he took a step and charged toward the underground palace. Along the way, his cultivation level dropped once more to mid-stage arcane void. When he reached the entrance to the underground palace, his cultivation level returned back to normal, to late-stage spirit void. The heavenly bull armor seemed to melt, turning back to the countless black threads that surrounded his body. In the end, they gathered around the right side of his face to form a black heavenly bull tattoo. The tattoo flashed, causing Wang Lin to look very strange. The moment he entered the underground palace, his foot trembled. A powerful sense of weakness came from his body, as if he had lost his cultivation and became immortal. The more than 1,000 cultivators, including Yan Lu and company, all looked over with anxious gazes. They couldn't see what was happening outside the underground palace. They had been waiting for the result. Of the 6 mid-stage void tribulant old monsters, 2 escaped and 3 died. Wang Lin didn't know if the old man named Zhao had an avatar or not, because Wang Lin wasn't close enough. So he didn't mention him. The 2 early-stage void tribulant cultivators are dead. Aside from them, all the Green Devil Continent cultivators are dead. Wang Lin only said these 3 lines before his face turned pale and he flew back into his cave. He summoned Yi Sai and completely sealed the cave with restrictions. He then sat down and coughed out a mouthful of blood. He ignored the dead silence caused by what he had said. All the cultivators silently pondered as they looked toward Wang Lin's cave with shock and awe. Heavenly bull soul armor so powerful. Is this the power of the soul armor? There was no uproar. Everyone silently pondered and then slowly scattered. Yan Lu and company also looked at Wang Lin's cave with complicated gazes before they returned to their own caves to begin healing. After all, they had been injured in the previous battle as well. In a flash, 7 days passed. It's the middle of the month. Wishing Leo's video gets plenty of likes. Remember to like and share Leo's video, okay? And don't forget to leave your thoughts about the video. During these 7 days, the entire underground palace was silent. Even when they went out, they unwittingly remained silent. In this silence, some people carefully left the underground palace and ascended to the surface. They looked at the extreme sky prairie that seemed to have been turned upside down and were dumbfounded. Recalling the 3 sentences that Wang Lin had said before going into closed-door cultivation, the people that saw the huge change to the extreme sky prairie felt a wave of terror. This showed that Wang Lin's words were all true. In addition, there was not a single Green Devil Continent cultivator left on the extreme sky prairie. Wang Lin's words appeared in everyone's heart. Yan Lu also arrived on the surface and looked around with deep fear in her eyes. Her cultivation level was high, so she could see things others could not. From her point of view, there was a huge palm print in the extreme sky prairie. However, something inside the palm print was easy to miss. There was an extremely violent slaughter here 7 days ago, Yan Lu silently pondered. Shu Dongde stood beside Yan Lu and looked around with a complicated gaze. This Elder Wang will immediately fly into the heavens. I fear it won't be many years before we have to address him with respect. Shu Dongde let out a sigh. After 7 days, more than half a month passed. It had almost been a month since the slaughter. During this time, some cultivators scattered to the edge of the extreme sky prairie to see if anyone from the Green Devil Continent remained. But in the end, they found nothing. Everything was as Wang Lin had said before going into closed-door cultivation. Everyone beside the few that escaped had died. The flame of war still burned across the Heavenly Bull Continent, but there was a rare peace on the extreme sky prairie. No new orders came from the Great Soul Sect and the Guiyi Sect, so no one could leave. They could only guard the 3rd meridian. Although the days were boring, once a cultivator found a broken treasure on the extreme sky prairie, things became interesting. More and more cultivators flew out to find the treasures and items left by the dead green devil continent cultivators. However, a vast majority of them had been destroyed by Wang Lin's spell. Even if there were some that remained, they were mostly broken. But there were still a few that were relatively intact, and even if they were broken, they still had some value. This kind of life was very fun for the cultivators. There was no slaughter and no death, and because they had fought together, they felt familiar with each other even though they were strangers. However, this atmosphere immediately disappeared once they returned to the underground palace. Everyone who returned would become silent and look at one of the very ordinary-looking caves. That was where Wang Lin was in closed-door cultivation. These cultivators included Yan Lu and company. All of them remained silent in the underground palace, as if they were afraid of disrupting Wang Lin. Wang Lin's battle and 3 sentences had won the respect and fear of these cultivators. Time began to unknowingly pass once more. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. During these 3 months of time, the entire extreme sky prairie had been searched by the cultivators, leaving nothing behind, but Wang Lin still hadn't come out from his closed-door cultivation. On a certain day, a few hundred cultivators on the prairie formed a small square where they were trading what they had found on the prairie and their own items. Suddenly, a muffled rumble came from the distance. This sudden sound caused their expressions to change greatly. They all stood up, and the leisureliness from the past 3 months disappeared and was replaced with solemn expressions. The muffled rumble didn't come from the extreme sky prairie but from further away. It had traveled an unknown distance, but it still made the world hear dim. The rumble instantly spread above everyone and gave off a feeling of blood and ferocity that could not be seen, but felt. It instantly swept by and spread further away. The hundreds of cultivators on the ground were startled. They didn't know what had happened or why that this rumble would appear. Some of them vaguely saw that at the edge of the world a heavenly bull covered in blood was letting out a miserable roar. This rumble that spread across the earth was the roar of the heavenly bull. The reason the rumble was continuing was because it seemed like the heavenly bull was escaping in pain. However, less than a dozen people saw this blurry image, and they all remained silent. As the roar swept by, it shrouded the entire extreme sky prairie. The cultivators inside the underground palace all opened their eyes and their expressions changed. They all rushed to the surface and looked at the sky. They were startled. The expressions of Yan Lu and company also changed as they flew out from the palace. They looked at the cave Wang Lin was in, and then headed toward the surface. As a result, Wang Lin was the only person left inside the underground palace. During these 3 months, he had remained motionless. He had been suppressing his internal injuries battle after battle, and now that it was calm, he had begun to heal. During these 3 months of time, Wang Lin continued to familiarize himself with the soul armor, and also digest the insight he had gained from when his cultivation level increased. This insight was precious to him. He was going to memorize it until it slowly became a part of him. This would benefit him greatly when his cultivation level increased. During these 3 months, Wang Lin had also studied his Sundered Night. Unfortunately, without the soul armor, Sundered Night was no longer a faith spell. The moment the roar echoed across the extreme sky prairie, Wang Lin awakened from his cultivation for the first time in 3 months. A sharp pain came from his heart and spread across his body, causing him to be covered in cold sweat. The heavenly bull tattoo on the right side of his face began to burn and gave off a sense of unspeakable sadness and anger. The sadness came from the heavenly bull's soul. Wang Lin's heart trembled. He heard the muffled rumble and looked up toward the surface. His vision became blurry and he seemed to faintly see some images. It was an endless mountain range, and there were thousands of cultivators. After months of struggle, these cultivators had died until only a few hundred remained. Among them was someone wearing a full suit of black armor, and they gave off the aura of the heavenly bull's soul. It was obvious that this person had been recognized by the heavenly bull, like Wang Lin, and had been someone assigned to guard one of the 7 meridians. Wang Lin watched this person go through one slaughter after another. In the end, this person was hit by a red hand that suddenly descended from the sky 9 times in a row. The armor around this person collapsed, and this person died. The red hand trembled and turned into a red-haired old man. The old man had a gloomy expression and stood in the air like the sovereign of the heavens and earth. He was worshipped by all the green devil continent cultivators below. Wang Lin couldn't feel his aura from the images, but from the fact that this old man had killed someone wearing the soul armor, meant that this person's cultivation was monstrous. After the cultivator wearing the soul armor died, the entire mountain range collapsed and scattered. The endless mountain range became a pit of death. As it collapsed, a part of the invisible barrier formed by the 7 meridians collapsed. It was no longer complete. Wang Lin's vision went dark and he awakened. He silently pondered for a moment. What he had just seen was not something others could see. Only those who possessed the Heavenly Bull soul armor could detect it. One of the 7 Heavenly Bull meridians had collapsed. It took several hours for this violent roar to slowly dissipate into the distance. This sudden development caused all the cultivators in the extreme sky prairie to feel like something bad was about to happen. There were many speculations, but they all felt like something big was going to happen. In the following 2 months, the cultivators of the extreme sky prairie were no longer as relaxed, but even more tense. This was because the roar from 2 months ago had repeated 2 more times in the last 2 months. The 3 roars, the 3 faint yet powerful roars, had caused the pressure on everyone's hearts to increase greatly. On the 7th day after these 2 months, a ray of light closed in on the extreme sky prairie from inside the Heavenly Bull continent. The ray of light quickly arrived above the underground palace and turned into an old man in black who was in a sorry state. This old was not someone from the Great Soul sect. He came from the Guiyi sect. The extreme sky prairie's 3rd meridian obeyed this command. I came under the soul order from the Great Soul sect and the Guiyi sect. Immediately leave this place and retreat back 1 million kilometers to gather at Mount Tianluan. There will be someone there to greet you all. Listen to the order and quickly leave. Owner of the soul armor of the 3rd meridian, this old man, Ouyang Zhen, requests a meeting. The old man stood in the sky and looked anxious, but he didn't forget to be respectful. After all, someone who possessed the soul armor was worthy of respect. As he clasped his hands, Wang Lin suddenly opened his eyes in the underground palace. He disappeared, and when he reappeared, he was outside across from the old man. When the old man saw Wang Lin, he was startled. He obviously didn't expect the person who owned the soul armor to be at Wang Lin's cultivation level, but he didn't dare to look down on Wang Lin. After all, being able to protect this place meant that there was something special about Wang Lin. The Heavenly Bull's 1st, 2nd, and 7th meridians have been destroyed by the Green Devil continent. 3 owners of soul armors have fallen. Ouyang has come on orders to inform the owner of the 3rd meridian's soul armor to use a transfer array to immediately return to the Guiyi sect for a top secret plan. Mid-month, hoping to get the like button pressed for the video. Wang Lin's expression was calm. After hearing that the 1st, 2nd, and 7th meridians were destroyed, he remained calm. He had already sensed those 3 meridians being destroyed. Top secret plan? Wang Lin frowned. I only came to pass on the order and don't to know the details. I hope fellow cultivator can quickly return to the sect. There is a total of 4 people like me who were sent to each meridian. Ouyang Zhen reached toward the void and a jade appeared. He threw it toward Wang Lin. This jade contains the exact location of the transfer array and can activate the formation 3 times. I hope fellow cultivator will be quick. I still have another task and will say goodbye first. Ouyang Zhen looked anxious. After he clasped his hands at Wang Lin, he left. Ouyang Zhen came and went quickly. But Wang Lin sensed the tension the cultivators of the Heavenly Bull sect felt in this war. After pondering for a moment, Wang Lin looked down at the jade. On the ground, several rays of light flew out and revealed to be Yan Lu and the other void turbulent cultivators. They were silent. After a long time, Wang Lin put the jade away and looked at Yan Lu and company. He clasped his hands at them. Fellow cultivators, we have been together for months, but it is time to part. If fate allows it, we will have a chance to fight together again. Goodbye. Wang Lin's gaze swept past Yan Lu, and without hesitation, he turned around. Ripples echoed under his feet, and his figure disappeared. Wang Lin left very casually. He didn't belong to the Heavenly Bull continent, so it was fine if he came or left. Just like the wind, there might be no trace of him after he flew past. Yan Lu and company looked at where Wang Lin was with complicated expressions for half an incense stick of time. These months of coexistence had been complicated and difficult to forget. It was something that they would remember for the rest of their lives. On the day after Wang Lin left, all the cultivators left with Yan Lu and company. They left the extreme sky prairie and gave up on this place to head toward the location Ouyang Zhen had given them. The defense of the Heavenly Bull's third meridian was over. Gui Yi sect, one of the two most powerful sects of the Heavenly Bull continent. One of the 9 sects and 13 factions of the Eastern continent. Although not the strongest, it was also not the weakest. The entire Gui Yi sect occupied a large part of the Heavenly Bull continent. Those endless peaks contained countless ancient buildings and gave off an unspeakable sense of mystery under the fog. The Gui Yi sect was structured with multiple layers of rings that seemed to form a huge vortex that covered an endless area. Like the Great Soul sect, the Gui Yi sect had a large amount of disciples. A sect like this had many powerful cultivators. Tens of thousands of kilometers from the Gui Yi sect, there was a burst of light that lit up the sky. This sudden change immediately caught the attention of the Gui Yi sect. Dozens of rays of light flew toward the formation. Awaits. Inside the formation light, a white-haired and white-clothed Wang Lin began to appear. However, it was only his figure and not his appearance. Just as he was about to appear, the dozens of lights had already surrounded Wang Lin. "Who are you, sir? Please take out your identification jade," a cold voice echoed. The person who spoke was a middle-aged man at the late stage of arcane void. He wore a 5-element Dao robe and stared at Wang Lin with a cold gaze. The surrounding cultivators were all wearing Gui Yi sect 5-element Dao robes and were waiting for Wang Lin to take out the identification jade. Right now was a time of war, and if Wang Lin couldn't take out the jade, they would immediately kill him. After Wang Lin's figure became completely clear, the surrounding cultivators saw the Heavenly Bull tattoo on his face. The expressions of the surrounding cultivators all changed, and they retreated a few steps. They clearly felt the aura of the Heavenly Bull's soul that made them tremble. They had clearly felt this aura from 2 other people yesterday. "We all greet Heavenly Bull Messenger. I wonder, what meridian did Messenger come from? What sect?" The middle-aged man who spoke coldly before immediately became polite. The surrounding cultivators quickly clasped their hands too. They felt respect from the bottom of their hearts toward a Heavenly Bull Messenger who could guard one of the meridians. Although they could see that Wang Lin's cultivation level was not high, just like Ouyang Zhen, they thought that there had to be something extraordinary about someone who could fend off the Green Devil Continent's attack. Great Soul Sect Wang Lin, Heavenly Bull 3rd Meridian, Extreme Sky Prairie. Wang Lin clasped his hands at everyone. "Lord Messenger, please. The sect master has sent out an order. All messengers must head to the main hall." The middle-aged man raised his hand and welcomed Wang Lin. Wang Lin nodded and looked at the Gui Yi sect in the distance. This was not the first time he had been here. In fact, in the cave world, he had sensed the Gui Yi sect from the rift in the Wind Celestial realm. There were also some old friends here. He stepped out from the formation, and accompanied by the middle-aged man and the surrounding cultivators, they flew toward the Gui Yi sect. However, before everyone flew far, the transfer array released a dazzling light once more that spread out in all directions. This sudden change caught the attention of Wang Lin and these cultivators. The middle-aged man's expression became cold once more, and he stared at the formation with a serious expression. Inside the formation, the figure of a woman slowly walked out. It was not possible to clearly see her appearance, but her figure was very beautiful. Just one look and your heart would skip a beat. Shortly after, the woman's figure became clear. It was a woman wearing purple. She looked young and very beautiful. She possessed a sense of serenity that spread out and made her look like a goddess. On the right side of her beautiful face, there was also a Heavenly Bull tattoo. Not only did this tattoo not reduce her beauty, it gave her a mysterious aura. Chushang Sect Xianxia, Heavenly Bull's 6th Meridian, Azure Sea Mountain Range, the woman said softly as her gaze swept by the people before her. Her gaze stopped on Wang Lin for a moment, but she was still calm. After seeing the woman, Wang Lin's eyes narrowed. He took a closer look and felt that she looked familiar, but he could not remember why. Xianxia frowned slightly toward Wang Lin's gaze and calmly glanced at Wang Lin. "Fellow cultivator, which meridian did you come from?" Her voice was crisp and beautiful. "Heavenly Bull's 3rd Meridian," Wang Lin slowly said. He continued to observe her, trying to figure out why she felt familiar. He was certain that this woman was not someone from the cave world. However, his gaze was very rude to the woman. She frowned and looked at Wang Lin with a hint of disgust. She coldly looked at Wang Lin and softly said, "Fellow cultivator, have you met me before?" "I have not met you before, but I feel like you are a bit familiar." Wang Lin pondered and realized that his actions were a bit rude. He gave an apologetic smile and withdrew his gaze. After hearing Wang Lin's words, Xianxia felt even more disgust. She had heard similar words many times before and considered Wang Lin a skirt chaser. She no longer spoke and flew toward the Guiyi sect. Wang Lin rubbed his nose as he flew toward the Guiyi sect under the strange gaze from the middle-aged man. Soon, everyone flew into the Guiyi sect and entered the formation with the middle-aged man leading the way. Purple light flashed. It seemed like it was not Xianxia's first time coming to the Guiyi sect. She directly headed for the Great Hall. Half an hour later, Wang Lin saw a huge square where a huge clock was hanging upside down in the sky. It gave off bursts of pressure. There were two cultivators sitting under the clock. One was a gloomy-faced old man who seemed to ignore everything around him. On the right side of his face, the tattoo of the heavenly bull was flashing and giving off the aura of the heavenly bull's soul. The other person was a young man who had a lazy expression, but if one looked closely, one could see the light in his eyes. Although he looked lazy, once his expression became serious, he would be like a different person. There was also a heavenly bull tattoo flashing on the right side of his face. When Xianxia arrived, the young man looked over and didn't care at all. However, a moment later, his expression collapsed, revealing a look of shock. He suddenly stood up and stared at Xianxia. Or rather, he was staring behind Xianxia, at the white-haired Wang Lin, who was being guided by several cultivators. Wang Lin also saw him. Xianxia was shocked by the young man's drastic change. She knew he was, knew his identity, and knew his reputation on the Heavenly Bull continent. In the past, she had seen his proud figure from the crowds, but she had never seen him reveal such an expression. After being startled for a moment, Xianxia subconsciously turned her head and looked at the figure that she felt disgust toward. Welcome, everyone, to watch. Fans of the narrative chapter expressed their wishes for praise in the latest installment. May the new chapter receive even more acclaim. Brother Wang. The young man's lazy expression disappeared. His aura suddenly changed, his powerful cultivation erupted, and he laughed loudly. He charged forward and instantly closed in on Wang Lin. As he closed in, he raised his right hand like a blade. There was a burst of golden light from his right hand, and it turned into a golden blade that chopped down on Wang Lin. This blade had the power to split the heavens and cause the world to change colors. The sky was filled with a golden glow, and all the celestial energy in the vicinity gathered. It was as if this golden blade had the power to devour the world. This sudden change caused the expressions of the cultivators that followed Wang Lin, including the middle-aged man, to change greatly. Without hesitation, they rapidly retreated from Wang Lin's sides. Xianxia's pupils shrank as she stared at the figure of the young man whose right hand was like a blade. That figure quickly overlapped with the proud figure in her memories. If I don't activate the Heavenly Bull soul armor, I can resist that blow. Xianxia was only at the 8th arcane tribulant. Once she went through the 9th arcane tribulant, she could truly enter the early stage of void tribulant. There was also the old man who was sitting under the clock. He suddenly opened his eyes and looked over. His cultivation was unfathomable, and he gave off the aura of a mid-stage void tribulant cultivator. He was very similar to the 7-colored celestial sovereign at his peak. Wang Lin's expression remained the same. When the young man's golden blade was less than 100 feet away, his eyes shined and stared at the young man's eyes. He raised his hand and pointed forward. With one point, the entire world paused, as if a strange force had solidified the world, solidified the rules, solidified the celestial energy around the golden blade, and solidified every movement of the young man. The golden blade that was like a landslide was broken without Wang Lin attacking at all. The moment the young man was frozen, Wang Lin calmly landed on the square below the clock. Xianxia saw all of this, and her heart trembled. She suddenly looked toward Wang Lin, and her eyes revealed a mysterious light. As for the mid-stage void tribulant old man, he frowned and glanced at Wang Lin. The stop spell had only lasted for a moment, and the young man recovered his movement. He revealed a bitter smile as the golden light around him disappeared. He looked at Wang Lin with a complicated gaze and slowly revealed a sincere smile. We haven't met in many years, and Brother Wang does not disappoint. I am still not your match. This young man was the Guiyi sect's Yun Yifeng. Can you change your unique way of greeting me in the future? Wang Lin frowned and looked at Yun Yifeng. Yun Yifeng landed beside Wang Lin and laughed. Seeing Wang Lin, he felt very happy. Looking back at what happened in the cave world, they had been enemies and also friends. It was complicated, and looking back made him feel a bit emotional. After all, those tens of thousands of years in the cave world were the majority of his life. Brother Wang, after I left the cave, I immediately used the power of the sect to find you, but found nothing. I didn't expect you to suddenly appear like this. I was happy and naturally wanted to continue our battle, Yun Yifeng said sincerely as he opened his arms toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin paused for a moment and looked at Yun Yifeng. After pondering for a moment, he walked forward and hugged Yun Yifeng. Yun Yifeng was very happy. He pulled Wang Lin to the side so they could continue talking. However, just at this moment, a voice filled with majesty echoed from the great hall before them. Everyone is here. Yun Yifeng stopped and looked at Wang Lin. His expression immediately became serious and he stood there respectfully. The person who spoke is my Gui Yi Sect's sect master, late-stage void tribulant. Wang Lin heard Yun Yifeng's voice. He didn't make a sound as he looked at the great hall that looked like a giant beast. The three of you tell me your names. The majestic voice echoed once more. Tang Jian put on a serious expression and softly said, Jiushen Sect, Tang Jia. Rogue Cultivator, Edge Cloud. The old man stood up and clasped his hands at the great hall. Great Soul Sect, Wang Lin, Wang Lin slowly said before looking around. He noticed that when the voice echoed before, an invisible restriction had shrouded the area so no one could hear anything from outside. What secretly shocked him was that the changes in the world here were also disrupted, so it was impossible to divinate what was happening here. This wasn't an individual restriction, but part of the formation that protected the entire sect. 3 of the 7 heavenly bull meridians have been destroyed, and 3 heavenly bull messengers have died. The 4 of you defended the meridians and achieved great merits. After discussing it with the Great Soul Sect, those that achieved merits should be rewarded. The majestic voice gave off an ancient aura as if it had lived for far too long and had forgotten the passage of time. Edge Cloud, the voice echoed. Here, the old man named Edge Cloud walked up. You have guarded the 4th meridian and have achieved merits. I'll take you as an elder of the metal faction and give the treasure metal element armor. The majestic voice echoed, and a ray of golden light flew out. It emitted a powerful killing intent that shrouded the square. The golden light stopped beside Edge Cloud and turned into a golden suit of armor that gave off a terrifying pressure. Edge Cloud was no longer calm and was very excited. Thank you, Sect Master. Edge Cloud took a deep breath and clasped his hands at the Great Hall. The moment he bowed, the golden light turned into countless golden threads and entered his body. Tang Jia. The majestic voice echoed once more. You guarded the 6th meridian and have achieved merits. I'll allow your Xiu Shen sect to expand 3-fold, recruit 3 times more disciples, and obtain 3 times the cultivation resources. I'll also give you the Gui Yi Sect's treasure water element armor. A ray of blue light flew out from the great hall and turned into a sea that filled the world. It swept forward and shrouded Tang Jia, entering her body through her pores. Tang Jia's body trembled and there were ripples in her calm eyes. She bowed and respectfully said, Thank you, Senior Sect Master. Yifeng. Yun Yifeng became serious and stepped forward with a bow. You guarded the 4th meridian and have achieved merits, because you already have the Sect's elemental armor. I'll teach you one of my 4 spells and give you one of my celestial treasures, the Slaughter Spirit Dagger. As his words echoed, 2 rays of light flew out from the Great Hall. One was a jade and the other was a dagger. It was very strange. It had 9 thorns that gave off a terrifying aura. Thank you, Sect Master. Yun Yifeng was excited as he accepted the 2 items and bowed at the Great Hall. Wang Lin. The majestic voice paused for a moment before it slowly echoed. Wang Lin was calm as he looked at the Great Hall and walked forward. You guarded the 3rd meridian and have achieved merits. I'll give you the fire element armor. A ray of fire flew out from the Great Hall through the air and turned into a suit of fire armor that shot toward Wang Lin. The rewards have been given. Now I'll give you guys a top secret mission. The voice echoed. Yun Yifeng wanted to say something, but after looking at the Great Hall, he silently pondered. The 3 of them had obtained 2 rewards, but had only Wang Lin obtained 1. Yun Yifeng wasn't the only one who had doubts. Xianxia and the old man both looked at Wang Lin and noticed this issue. Edge Cloud had a high cultivation level and a gloomy personality. Since it wasn't related to him, he didn't care. He withdrew his gaze and didn't question it anymore. Xianxia had a bad impression of Wang Lin and would naturally not care. Your mission is, the voice echoed, but before the voice could finish, there is a flash of coldness in Wang Lin's eyes. Wait. Wang Lin stared at the Great Hall and stepped forward, interrupting the sect master of the Guiyi sect. The moment Wang Lin spoke, Yun Yufeng's expression changed, and he signaled Wang Lin. Xianxia also looked at Wang Lin. She didn't expect him to dare to speak at a time like this. Even Edge Cloud turned to look at Wang Lin. Your mission is to head to the Green Devil continent, sneak into the Green Devil temple, and destroy the Green Devil statue to seriously injure the Green Devil soul. Once that is done, the four of you will have done a great deed for the Heavenly Bull continent. The voice completely ignored Wang Lin's words and continued with the secret mission. After these words came out, Edge Cloud's expression changed, and Xianxia was the same. It seemed like it was the first time Yun Yifeng had heard of this as well. All three of their expressions changed. Entering the Green Devil continent was simply too dangerous. If they made a small mistake, they would not be able to come back. The Green Devil continent is basically empty right now. As for the ancestors of the Green Devil continent, there will naturally be people who will restrain them now that the mission has been stated. What do you want to say, Wang Lin? The voice was still calm and slow, as if very few things could shake it. Today marks the first watch, longing for the like button for the VIDEO. The VIDEO wants to charge up the trending charts, hoping the veteran supporters lend their firepower. Junior doesn't understand why everyone has obtained 2 rewards, and I only obtained a fire element armor. Wang Lin wasn't polite at all. He was no longer alone. He was now an elder of the Great Soul sect. As a result, he could not stand for this. Even if the other party was the sect master of the Guiyi sect, he would still question them. Your cultivation level is the lowest, so just 1 armor is enough. This decision was made by both the Guiyi sect and the Great Soul sect. You don't have to understand it, but you must accept it. If you don't like the fire element armor, then this old man will take it away. The majestic voice echoed once more. The floating fire armor turned into a sea of fire and returned back to the Great Hall. Wang Lin looked at the Great Hall and slowly said, since this was a decision between the 2 sects, do you have proof? After Wang Lin spoke, a ray of ghostly light came out of the Great Hall. There was a strand of white hair inside the ray of light. The white hair erupted, and a figure appeared. This figure was that of old ancestor Green Bull. The matter of the reward has its own reasons there. This old man will not change. If Wang Lin doesn't agree quickly, this is the proof this old man will now leave. Wang Lin stared at the projection of old ancestor Green Bull. He knew that this was not the avatar, but a divine sense imprint. The proof has been given to you. Step back. The Guiyi sect master's cold voice came from the Great Hall. Wang Lin's expression revealed nothing. If this matter was really the decision between the Guiyi sect and the Great Soul sect, then with such an unfair decision, Wang Lin wouldn't need to worry about his agreement with old ancestor Green Bull. Wang Lin silently pondered and no longer spoke as he calmly stood there. He acted like nothing had happened and didn't feel any heartache for the fire element armor that was taken away. This old man will now activate the formation that has not been opened for countless years to send the 4 of you to the Green Devil continent. Before you 4 leave behind a wisp of your life soul. Once you complete your task, this old man will teleport you all back. After hearing about the matter of the life souls, Wang Lin's pupils shrank. The advantage was being able to be teleported back. The disadvantage was that he would have no freedom, as the other party would know his whereabouts at every moment. Yun Yifeng was a disciple of the Guiyi sect, so he didn't hesitate. His right hand touched the spot between his eyebrows and his body trembled. A wisp of soul came out to form a ball, and it flew toward the Great Hall. The old man named Edge Cloud hesitated for a moment but didn't refuse. He also exacted a wisp of his life soul and sent it to the Great Hall. As for Xianxia, she pondered for a while and then clenched her teeth. She was willing to pay any price for the development of her sect. Not to mention this was necessary, or else she couldn't be teleported back from the Green Devil continent. The 3 of them all sent out their life souls, leaving only Wang Lin. Wang Lin silently pondered. After a long time, he looked at the Great Hall and slowly spoke. I refuse to do this. I need to head back to the Great Soul Sect to meet with the old ancestor before making a decision. Goodbye. After Wang Lin spoke, he slowly retreated and was about to leave the square. You can leave, but leave behind the soul armor, the majestic voice echoed from the Great Hall. A giant hand made of black gas that covered the sky reached toward Wang Lin. There was a flash of coldness in Wang Lin's eyes. Countless thoughts flashed through his mind. Everything was happening too fast for him to figure out what had happened to cause all his. The change in the attitude of old ancestor Green Bull and the Guiyi sect making it difficult for him. Something Wang Lin wasn't aware of was happening. He even felt that if he handed over the soul armor, it would be very difficult to leave the Guiyi sect. Without the cultivation boost from the soul armor, he would be in a dangerous situation. This feeling was very strong. In truth, Wang Lin didn't want to keep the soul armor for himself. His original plan was to complete the 3 conditions to repay those 3 gifts. Then he would leave the soul armor and leave alone. After all, this item didn't belong to himself, but to the entire Heavenly Bull continent. However, this strange turn of events caused Wang Lin to become extremely cautious. He didn't know what changes had occurred in the Heavenly Bull continent during the half-year he was at the extreme Sky Prairie. With no information, he could not allow the soul armor to be taken away. With the soul armor, he still had a little power to survive, but without it, he felt like he would fall into an abyss. This matter began when I came to the Guiyi sect. They were obviously being unfair. If I spoke up, then I would fall into their trap. If I had remained silent, then there was the matter with the life soul they are forcing me to comply. At the end of the day, everything today was targeted at me. There is a problem here. The Guiyi sect knows my identity, knows that I come from the cave world, and also knows my connection with Xuanluo. Yet they still Wang Lin didn't understand and didn't have time to understand. Between abandoning the armor and facing the unknown, or keeping the armor and fighting, he didn't hesitate to choose the latter. The moment the giant hand closed in, the Heavenly Bull tattoo on the right side of Wang Lin's face released endless black light, shocking Yun Yifeng, Tangjia, and Edge Cloud. The black light instantly shrouded Wang Lin's entire body and turned into countless black threads. They took the form of a suit of black armor that exposed only his eyes and his white hair, which fluttered without any wind. Wang Lin's cultivation level suddenly increased from late-stage spirit void to early-stage void turbulent when he put on the armor. He raised his right hand and used the war spirit print. The huge 6-fingered devil palm print appeared. It collided directly with the huge black hand. Thunderous rumbles echoed across the Guiyi sect square, and the 6-fingered devil palm print collapsed. The black hand trembled and half of it collapsed, but the rest still landed on Wang Lin. With Wang Lin's current cultivation level, after being hit by the remains of the black hand, his face turned pale and blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth as he quickly retreated. Wang Lin has betrayed the Heavenly Bull continent. Send out the soul order. All cultivators of the Heavenly Bull continent can kill him on sight. Whoever kills him will be rewarded the fire element armor, the Great Soul Sect's Vice Ghostly Sail, and a Heavenly Bull bead. When Wang Lin was knocked back, he heard this. He gritted his teeth and felt an indescribable emotion. He vaguely felt like those 3 items were originally his reward. After these words echoed, Edge Cloud's expression changed greatly and he revealed a look of disbelief. Without hesitation, the Heavenly Bull tattoo on the right side of his face lit up and shrouded his whole body, forming the same Heavenly Bull soul armor that Wang Lin had. His cultivation level increased greatly and he broke through from the mid-stage of void turbulent to roughly the late stage. In a flash, he chased after Wang Lin. The reason he was so decisive was because of the Heavenly Bull bead. The Heavenly Bull beads were found by the Great Soul Sect and the Guiyi sect when they laid the foundation in the Heavenly Bull sect. There were only 7 of them. There were many uses for them, including making treasures, changing the effect of time, and cultivators could go inside them to cultivate. However, these weren't their most important uses. The most important use was that the beads could store the soul of the Heavenly Bull. This would allow someone with the soul armor to act as a separate existence and not lose the ability once they went too far from the Heavenly Bull continent. With the Heavenly Bull bead, one could wear the soul armor anywhere on the immortal astral continent, even in the ancient country, because this bead was the soul of the Heavenly Bull. Wang Lin had never heard of the heavenly bull bead before. Otherwise, he would have been shocked to discover that it was surprisingly similar in some aspects to something he owned. Out of the 7 heavenly bull beads, the Guiyi sect had 3 and the Great Soul sect had 4. Over the countless years, they had never been taken out as rewards and had been used as the framework to create a holy land of cultivation for the 2 sects. This holy land could only be perfectly formed when 3 beads were together. As a result, it couldn't be the Guiyi sect. Only the Great Soul sect could take one out, because they had 1 extra. The Great Soul sect's sect protection ghostly sail was a top secret of the Great Soul sect. Its vice flag could release great power even far away. These 2 items were enough to make one go crazy. This was why Edgecloud had made the decision to chase Wang Lin so quickly with red eyes. Xianxia trembled. After pondering for a bit, she clenched her teeth and black light surrounded her. Her soul armor appeared and her cultivation level reached mid-stage void tribulent. Then she chased as well. Only Yun Yifeng remained silent and had a gloomy expression. He didn't pursue. However, as Xianxia rushed out, he opened his mouth and sent a divine sense message to her. Xianxia trembled after she heard Yun Yifeng's message shortly after flying out. She suddenly looked back at Yun Yifeng. Is this true? Yun Yifeng looked at Xianxia and nodded. Xianxia's expression became complicated, and she gave chase once more. However, her mentality had changed greatly from before. Only after Xianxia left did Yun Yifeng turn around and drop down on one knee toward the Great Hall. Sect Master, you have to give Disciple an explanation for this matter. Disciple has already informed the sect of Wang Lin's identity and his relationship with Grand Empyrean Xuan Luo. There was silence from the Great Hall for a long time, and then a tired sigh echoed. Wang Lin quickly moved through the Guiyi sect. His expression was gloomy and he spread out his divine sense, but he soon noticed that something was wrong. The entire Guiyi sect was dead silent, and there wasn't a single person around. Even the sect protection formation was not activated at this moment. For now, just the first watch today. Leo will rest tonight and start catching up on the missed chapters tomorrow. You are listening to a completely free audiobook on the Leo Audio YouTube channel. If you enjoy the story, please like the video to motivate the channel. Support Leo with a cup of coffee through the description link or on the screen. If you want to hear any other stories, just comment and let Leo know. Thank you very much for watching the video. This silence seemed to have been especially prepared for him to leave. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. Everything had happened too suddenly for him to understand, but it was too late to think about it now. He quickly flew away. He moved at his fastest speed to leave the Guiyi sect. Behind him, Edgecloud's eyes revealed a strange light as he chased after Wang Lin with his late-stage void tribulent cultivation. The 2 of them quickly flew through the Guiyi sect and then flew out of the Guiyi sect. A moment later, a ray of purple light flew out from the Guiyi sect. Following that, the sect formation activated and returned to normal. Wang Lin flew thousands of kilometers away from the Guiyi sect. It was not possible to use spatial bending in this area. The sect formation was disrupting this area. Just after Wang Lin left the disrupted area and was about to use spatial bending, Edgecloud caught up. His eyes were cold and he suddenly raised his hand. The sky changed and 7 stars appeared in the blue sky. These 7 stars shined as if it was night. 7-star kill! There was a flash of coldness in Edgecloud's eyes. He wanted to kill Wang Lin for the reward, even though he had sensed that something was wrong. However, he didn't care about that. He only acted like he was acting out the soul order given to hunt down Wang Lin for defecting. After taking this Wang Lin's head, then I can ask the Guiyi sect for the reward. Although there are some problems, I can say that I am simply acting on the order of the Guiyi sect's sect master. The Great Soul sect can't say anything either. After all, Wang Lin betrayed us first. I am killing a traitor. Edgecloud reaching the mid-stage of void tribulent as a rogue cultivator and obtaining the recognition of the heavenly bull showed that there was something special about him. In a flash, he made his decision. As Edgecloud raised his hand, the 7 stars in the blue sky shined brightly. It was as if an ancient force had gathered in the blue sky. The 7 stars released a powerful howl as they fell from the endless sky. The howl seemed to be able to cut open the sky, and it formed an indescribable force. Ripples echoed under Wang Lin's feet, and he was about to leave. However, he suddenly looked up at the sky. 7 meteor-like black lights were falling from the blue sky at an extremely fast speed. At the head of the lights, there was a fist-sized black star that was rapidly closing in. Even this far away, one could see the star as fist-sized, but if it was close, it had to be enormous. As Wang Lin looked, the fist-sized star turned into the size of a bowl and was rapidly expanding. It looked like it would expand it to 1,000 kilometers and cause everything within 1,000 kilometers to turn into ruins. Edge Cloud could only cast this spell when he had the cultivation level increase from the soul armor. More and more ripples echoed under Wang Lin's feet, and he was about to use spatial bending to leave. Edge Cloud obviously didn't know about Wang Lin's spells, so no matter how powerful his spell was, it would be impossible to keep Wang Lin here. However, just at this moment, a purple ray of light appeared behind Edge Cloud. Xianxia looked at Wang Lin with a complicated expression, and then moved very fast. She closed in on Edge Cloud, and seemed like she was going to pass him. "Senior Edge Cloud, I'll help you. The only reward I want is the fire element armor." Xianxia's soft voice echoed. Without waiting for his reply, Xianxia arrived within 1,000 feet of Edge Cloud. Edge Cloud frowned and didn't say anything, but Wang Lin suddenly paused. He clearly saw Xianxia close in, and when she was within 100 feet of Edge Cloud, there was something strange. "What are you doing?" Edge Cloud also noticed that something was wrong. His eyes lit up and he waved his sleeve as he retreated. A black wind surrounded his body, forming layers of protection. Xianxia's eyes released a golden glow and she raised her jade-like hand. 8 golden gates suddenly appeared around Edge Cloud. 8 gates seal! The 8 golden gates emitted endless golden light. After they appeared, they immediately enclosed Edge Cloud. This sudden change caused Wang Lin's eyes to narrow, and in a short period of time, many thoughts flashed through his head. He stopped, hesitated, and gave up on escaping. Instead, he turned into a ray of ghostly light and flew toward the sealed Edge Cloud. Wang Lin's personality was always like this. If others didn't offend him, then he would avoid provoking them unless it was absolutely necessary. However, now that Edge Cloud had tried to kill him, he would find any opportunity to fight back. When he saw Xianxia use the golden gates, he realized why she felt so familiar. This woman's aura and appearance were very similar to the third concubine, Tang Shan. After connecting their names, Wang Lin could determine that this woman and Tang Shan had a deep connection. All of this happened in an instant, and Edge Cloud was caught off guard. 3 of the 7 stars that appeared in the sky disappeared due to him losing control. The remaining 4 continued falling and looked like they would land soon. When the 4 stars landed, black fire began burning on the stars. Before they even landed, waves of heat spread out. This heat seemed to have the power to reverse the heavens and earth. Wang Lin ignored the stars falling from the sky and instantly closed in on the sealed Edge Cloud. He raised his right hand and waved. The world rumbled, and the 7 colored lance appeared. It changed color 3 times and became the 3rd transformation of the 7 colored lance. Shortly after, Wang Lin used his unparalleled casting speed to form seals, and the huge 6-fingered devil palm print appeared and shot toward Edge Cloud. Merely these 2 spells weren't enough to seriously injure Edge Cloud. Wang Lin clenched his teeth as he formed seals and pointed at the sky. Their surroundings rumbled as the world became the sea and everything turned dark. Sunlight suddenly appeared on the horizon. This was the 2nd time Wang Lin had used Sundered Night since he put on the soul armor. Since Xianxia had decided to help, she didn't hesitate at all. Her hands formed seals and a giant golden whip appeared in this dark night. The whip lashed out with an aura that could destroy the heavens, aimed at Edge Cloud. Her casting speed couldn't compare to Wang Lin's. In the time Wang Lin used 3 spells, she had only used 1. Edge Cloud's expression changed greatly. He was currently sealed by the 8 gates. These 8 gates were Xianxia's most powerful spell, and it had been used when she was at the mid-stage of Void Turbulent. Its sealing power was enough to make Edge Cloud's eyes red with killing intent. At this moment, he no longer cared about other matters. He bit the tip of his tongue to cough out blood. This blood turned into countless blood-colored ghosts that rushed toward the gates while letting out a shrieking howls. There was a thunderous bang and the 8 gates collapsed. Just as Edge Cloud recovered, he had to face the 3rd transformation of the 7-colored lance. He could not escape, so he waved his sleeve and a small white shield the size of his palm appeared. In a flash, it collided with the 7-colored lance. Thunderous rumbles echoed and the lance collapsed, but countless cracks appeared on the white shield. Before it collapsed, Wang Lin's six-fingered devil palm print shrank from its endless size until it was 100 feet large and landed on the small shield. The small white shield could no longer resist and shattered. The palm print landed before Edge Cloud. Thunderous rumbles echoed and Edge Cloud's face turned pale. As he was knocked back, he pointed to between his eyebrows and let out a roar. As he roared, the image of the heavenly bull appeared and also roared. Ripples echoed and the six-fingered devil palm print collapsed, but Wang Lin had cast 3 spells. When the palm print collapsed, sundered night shrouded the area. The rising sun appeared and erupted with the power to tear apart the night. Faith spell. After being bombarded by spells, Edge Cloud was able to see the issue with the sun for the first time. His eyes were filled with extreme fear, and he quickly retreated. But just as he retreated, Tangjia's golden whip closed in like the sun. It broke through the darkness and instantly arrived before Edge Cloud. Edge Cloud coughed out blood and was in a sorry state as he was pushed back. The only thought in his mind was to retreat out of the area of effect of the spell. However, he was a step too late. The sun rose into the sky and the tearing force spread out like crazy. Edge Cloud coughed out blood once more, and his eyes were bloodshot. At this moment, he felt danger and made a decision in his heart. As he retreated, he suddenly stopped and pressed his hands against his eyebrows. He leaned back a bit and then fiercely threw something forward. A heavenly bull with its front hoof raised appeared. Its horn was pointed at the sky, and it actually charged toward the sun. Not paying attention, this chapter quickly racks up 5,000 words. Does that qualify as a major chapter? Could it be wishing for the like button for the video? Chapter 188, The Ancient God's Inheritance, Part 2. Wang Lin was able to see everything that happened outside while he was hiding in the heaven-revolting space. Originally, before the heaven-revolting bead acknowledged him as its master, he wasn't able to do this, but after he reached Jidan middle stage, he noticed a change when he entered the bead's space. That feeling appeared when he first entered the Jidan stage as well, but it wasn't as obvious as now. Wang Lin felt that his cultivation was only one of the reasons. The other might be been due to his soul growing stronger. The wandering soul in the third realm allowed his soul to grow rapidly. Now, when he was inside the heaven-revolting space, all he had to do was grab the strip of light to be able to see what was happening on the outside. He was surprised by the appearance of Sixth Desire Devil Lord. He didn't think that Sixth Desire Devil Lord would be able to make it to the exit of the third realm and reach the body of the ancient god. Also, from the whirlpool that Sixth Desire Devil Lord appeared out of, it seemed like he was just teleported from the fourth realm's transfer array. Wang Lin became very alarmed. He decided that once Sixth Desire Devil Lord leaves, he will go a different route. If the two were meet here, it would not be good for Wang Lin. However, what happened next really surprised him. The things consumed by Sixth Desire Devil Lord looked very familiar to him. He suddenly remembered back to the tunnel, where Sixth Desire Devil Lord used a technique. After recalling that memory, he took a deep breath. However, a doubt raised in his mind. Didn't it seem like Sixth Desire Devil Lord was absorbing them too easily? It seemed as if everything was prepared, just waiting for Sixth Desire Devil Lord to arrive and consume them. He could clearly feel the Sixth Desire Devil Lord growing stronger. Sixth Desire Devil Lord felt power he had never felt before. The mysterious Sky Devil cultivation had reached completion. His heart was filled with excitement. The goal that he had been pursuing for thousands of years was finally achieved. He was feeling very confident. This confidence came from the desire he had just absorbed from the ancient goddess body. With the 6 desires combined, it created a very special power that allowed him to control someone's life and death. However, before 6 Desire Devil Lord could indulge in those feelings, his heart suddenly sank. His face became ugly. From the distance, a meteor-like shadow was charging toward him. Old man, since you don't care about our master-disciple relationship, don't blame me for killing you. 6 Desire Devil Lord sneered. He still hadn't moved as he stared at the shadow approaching him. In the blink of an eye, the shadow had arrived before 6 Desire Devil Lord, revealing Sky Devil Magician. He stared at 6 Desire Devil Lord with eyes that could hardly contain his ecstasy, laughing. Good. As expected of my disciple, you dared to absorb the ancient goddess desire. Yeah, your master really needs to thank you. Wang Lin was stunned. He was able to see everything that was going on from inside the Heaven Revolting space with the help of the Heaven Revolting bead. Sky Devil Magician S appearance shocked him greatly. This person's demon-like body looked very similar to Hunchback Meng S. What surprised him even more was that this person seemed to be Sixth Desire Devil Lord S teacher. Wang Lin didn't know that the person responsible for the expedition into the land of the ancient gods was Sky Devil Magician, but after analyzing it, he had a rough notion what happened. From what the man said, Wang Lin knew that Sixth Desire Devil Lord consumed the ancient goddess desire. Although he didn't know what the ancient goddess desire was, he understood the implications from what he had just witnessed. Sixth Desire Devil Lord revealed a cold look. Without a word, his hands quickly formed seals before his chest. He then whispered, "Spirit of Desire, appear!" The moment the words left his lips, pillars of different colored smoke appeared behind Sixth Desire Devil Lord. Ferocious spirits appeared from each pillar of smoke, snarling towards Sky Devil Magician. Sky Devil Magician's eyes were filled with greed. He didn't stop Sixth Desire Devil Lord, but activated the same technique instead. Just as Sixth Desire Devil Lord activated his technique, Sky Devil Magician also whispered, "Spirit of Desire, appear!" Suddenly, behind Sky Devil Magician, appeared the same pillars of smoke that formed 6 ferocious spirits that charged forward. Sixth Desire Devil Lord revealed a devious smile, although he learned from Sky Devil Magician. He knew that Sky Devil Magician didn't teach him certain things about the mysterious Sky Devil cultivation. Since a long time ago, he had been improving the mysterious Sky Devil cultivation himself. He believed that his mysterious Sky Devil cultivation was absolutely not inferior to the Sky Devil Magician's. While the two almost identical techniques hit each other, Sky Devil Magician suddenly let out a strange smile. He suddenly opened both his arms, and his body quickly started to float upwards. His hair flowed in the air without wind. Waves of Ling Qi emitted from his body. Sky Devil Magician muttered, "Use the bone," as the guide the voice sounded a bit heartbroken. The moment the words were said, the golden bone in Sixth Desire Devil Lord's hand started to shake until it exploded into countless golden specks, dissipating in Sixth Desire Devil Lord's hand. The golden specks flowed like a golden river toward Sky Devil Magician. They reassembled into a golden arm bone before him. This time, the hand mostly closed, with only its index finger pointing at Sixth Devil Desire Lord. Wang Lin stared at the scene before him. He felt it was strange that Sixth Desire Devil Lord was able so easily successfully absorb the ancient goddess desire. It was as if there was something manipulating the event. The moment Sky Devil Magician appeared, Wang Lin suddenly realized that all of this was set up by Sixth Desire Devil Lord's teacher. If it was like this, then Sky Devil Magician must have some grand goal in mind. A thought flashed through Sixth Desire Devil Lord's mind. Ignoring the spirits fighting each other, he started backing up. A red light appeared around him, and he immediately escaped. At that moment, he realized why the whirlpool he had created using the arm bone at the Third Realm's exit had collapsed. The bone arm didn't really belong to him, but still belonged to Sky Devil Magician. Otherwise, it wouldn't suddenly leave him to go back to its original master with just one word. The moment the arm bone left him, the connection he had established with it for 1,000 years was instantly severed. This surprised him and led him to think about many things. Sky Devil Magician revealed a satisfied look. He didn't even look at Sixth Devil Magician and said with a calm voice, "Use desire as a sword." The 6 spirits fighting with the Sky Devil Magician's 6 spirits immediately let out a scream. They turned back to smoke and fused together to form the shadow of a person. Meanwhile, Sixth Desire Devil Lord, who was running away with the red light around him, started to silently dissipate. When he reappeared, he found to his horror that he was next to Sky Devil Magician again. He appeared exactly where the shadow that was formed by the 6 spirits were. To be exact, the two fused into one. Sky Devil Magician's voice started to sound like a demon's. Use this person's blood and essence as a sacrifice. The moment those words were said, Sixth Desire Devil Lord lost any ability to resist. Small explosions injured every part of his body, causing him to bleed from everywhere. With a wave of Sky Devil Magician's right hand, all the blood that came from the wounds of Sixth Desire Devil Lord began to form a ball of blood that floated in the air. During this entire process, his body was controlled by an invisible force. He was not able to resist at all. Use this person's cultivation to form the road used the 6 desires of the ancient god Tu Sai. As the medium opened up the place where the ancient goddess soul rests, Sky Devil Magician's eyes revealed a crazed expression. He had waited 4,000 years for this. In reality, when he entered the land of the ancient god 1,000 years ago, it wasn't his first time, but his third. 4,000 years ago, when he entered the land of the ancient god for the first time, using a magic treasure, he was able to get past the 3rd realm and enter the 4th realm. That was when he won the arm bone. He realized that this place contained unimaginable fluctuations of desires. Others would only feel discomfort in their hearts, but he was very sensitive to this because he was already using various desires as attacks. Sky Devil Magician could be considered a peerless genius. When he detected the strange desires, he didn't immediately start to absorb them, but instead used the arm bone to leave the land of the ancient gods. After coming out, he worked hard on studying desires until he created the mysterious Sky Devil cultivation method. When he came here the second time, he also made it to the 4th realm, but realized that the ancient goddess desires became even larger. He also started to see those demonic cultivators. He was shocked. He decided to flee, and after a bitter fight, he barely escaped. It was at that time that he found out some secrets about the ancient goddess inheritance. After escaping, the huge temptation was simply too great for him to handle. Thus, after contemplating hard, a very daring plan formed in his mind. After preparing for 1,000 years, the time had finally come. From the time he died to when he handed the inheritance treasure to 6 Desire Devil Lord, everything had been carefully planned by Sky Devil Magician. At the 3rd realm, even if Hunchback Mung didn't call him, he would have appeared when 6 Desire Devil Lord was in danger. His goal was to have him enter the 4th realm. It could even be said that ever since the day he accepted 6 Desire Devil Lord as a disciple, everything had been for the sake of what was happening today. 6 Desire Devil Lord's body finally exploded into a mist of blood. As for his Yuan Ying, Sky Devil Magician grabbed it and turned it into boundless Ling Q. Sky Devil Magician's eyes had an excited and crazed look. He put his hands together and spit a mouthful of blood into the Ling Qi. He said in a fearsome voice, "Ancient God, lead the way, go, ancient gods of fear." Suddenly, the golden arm bone that was floating in the air exploded with a bang. It created circles of golden ripples that condensed into a golden circle in the air. Meanwhile, a black dragon came out of the blood mist of 6 Desire Devil Lord. The black dragon had a very ferocious face. It turned towards 6 Desire Devil Lord's Ling Qi and sucked up almost 1/6 of it. As his body started to glow, it slammed its body on the golden circle. At that moment, it seemed as if the whole land of the ancient god shook. If it wasn't for the restrictions Sky Devil Magician had set up earlier, all the other demonic cultivators would have immediately noticed. There was a loud roar. The black dragon kept slamming into an invisible barrier. Numerous cracks appeared where the black dragon slammed. Once the black dragon finished slamming into the barrier, its whole body dissipated into white smoke and disappeared from the ancient god. The ancient god had forever lost the fear desire. Wang Lin gawked at the scene before him from within the heaven-revolting space. With his heart pounding, he revealed an excited expression. That golden arm bone was really the ancient god's bone. Even that bone that was missing half its ring finger that was sitting in Wang Lin's bag of holding. But what made Wang Lin's heart even more excited was where the black dragon had slammed into. A thought crossed his mind as he stared at that location. Go, gods greedy. In the blood mist, a red dragon appeared. It swallowed 1/6 of 6 Desire Devil Lord's Ling Q and mercilessly slammed into the same location. Afterward, joy, envy, and ignorance all appeared, each as a dragon, and slammed into the golden ring. When the last dragon formed by ignorance slammed into the same place, the area shattered, revealing a tunnel. Sky Devil Magician laughed wildly. His hand went into the tunnel and grabbed out a light blue circular ice crystal. The ice crystal was about 10 feet wide, but the tunnel wasn't even 3 feet wide. Wang Lin stared at the tunnel. After hesitating for a while, he finally gave up on the risky plan of going out. Sky Devil Magician's hands formed a seal and sent a ray of Ling Qi toward the ice crystal. At that moment, his expression changed. He could feel that someone had broken his restriction and was coming very quickly toward him. His face revealed an unwilling expression. it could be said that the restriction he set up earlier was the strongest restriction he could set up. He also stacked a lot of other restrictions on top of it. Even for him to break the restrictions, it would take a very long time. Even though the ancient goddess body was large beyond comparison, it was unlikely for people to pass by. He still put in a lot of work on the restrictions just in case. Only this time, he never would have expected for a soul devourer to appear. Or that the owner of the Blood Sea had sent all the demonic cultivators to the body of the ancient god to chase after the soul devourer. As a result, there would be some inevitable changes to his plan, but he couldn't let this opportunity go to waste. He was also fairly confident in his restrictions. That's why he went ahead with the plan anyway. Here comes another 4,000 words in a major chapter. Leo doesn't make empty promises. Could it now be time to wish for the like button for the video? The heavenly bull charged toward the sun like crazy. Edge Cloud's cultivation level was very high with the soul armor, but after the heavenly bull rushed toward the sun, his cultivation level reduced greatly. It fell back down to mid-stage void tribulent from late-stage void tribulent. He had used this spell by giving up the short time he had left to wear the armor in order to break sundered night. All of this happened in a flash. The heavenly bull quickly collided with the sun and thunderous rumbles echoed. Wang Lin coughed out blood. When sundered night collapsed, he was knocked back thousands of feet. As for Edge Cloud, he seemed to have aged thousands of years and blood flowed out from his mouth as he retreated. However, how could Wang Lin let him escape? Wang Lin ignored his injuries and rushed out toward Edge Cloud. He was going to take advantage of the fact that the soul armor had dissipated to kill Edge Cloud. Xianxia silently pondered and no longer attacked. She had only helped on behalf of her sister. At this moment she looked at Wang Lin with a complicated expression and then disappeared into the distance. Wang Lin was filled with killing intent and closed in on Edge Cloud. He raised his right hand and smashed down on Edge Cloud. This punch contained his ancient Tao power, and the world changed colors. Edge Cloud was knocked back and coughed out blood. Wang Lin's body also trembled, but he clenched his teeth and charged out once more. The two of them attacked several times, and fear appeared in Edge Cloud's eyes. He had seen crazy people before, but he had never met a madman like Wang Lin, who was doing whatever it took to kill with no regard to himself. Just as Wang Lin and Edge Cloud were fighting several thousands of kilometers away, a giant black hand appeared and reached toward this location. Wang Lin's expression sank and he gave up on trying to kill Edge Cloud. The ripples under his feet echoed and he disappeared, merging with the world. The giant black hand closed in and pulled Edge Cloud back into the Guiyi sect. This battle was very short. It wasn't until after Wang Lin left that the 4 stars in the sky fell to the earth. Thunderous rumbles echoed through the 1,000-kilometer area, and large amounts of dust covered the region. It took a long time for the dust to clear, leaving only countless pieces of smoking, black stones. Ripples echoed above a mountain that was 2 months of flight away. Wang Lin stepped out with a pale expression. He stood there and pondered for a long time. A moment later, he looked up and around. His expression was bleak. Heavenly Bull Continent. It's time to leave. With a sigh, Wang Lin looked down and he was startled. He was familiar with this place as he had come here before. This was where the 7 Tao sect was located. He had moved inadvertently and didn't have a fixed location, but he didn't expect to actually come here. Looking at the black fog surrounding the mountain below, Wang Lin let out a sigh. He charged into the fog and flew toward the direction of the 7 Tao sect. Soon after, Wang Lin saw a group of palaces that gave off a decaying aura in the mountains. Wang Lin landed in the square outside the main hall. Most of the stone here was damaged and covered in weeds. He sat down and looked at the 7 Tao sect. The bleak feeling in his heart was slowly replaced by warmth. In some sense, this place was his home. Wang Lin closed his eyes and sat here to adjust his injuries. He had long put away the soul armor, and in his weakened state, he released Yi Si to guard him. In a flash, 3 days passed. After 3 days, Wang Lin opened his eyes and looked at the 7 Tao sect. The first time he came, he had only swept the area. Now that it was his second time, and he held the complicated feeling of having to leave the Heavenly Bull Continent, he walked through the 7 Tao sect. He walked past every building and the places where the 7 Tao sect disciples had lived. In the end, he walked into the main hall of the 7 Tao sect. There was a huge throne there. It obviously belonged to the seven-colored celestial sovereign. Looking at the silent hall, the table and chairs were covered in dust. It gave off a sense of decay. Wang Lin stood there and watched for a long time. He closed his eyes and seemed to feel the existence of the cave world. He suddenly felt homesick. He missed the cave world. He missed everyone there. He seemed to be able to see into the cave world. A beautiful woman with long, fluttering hair was standing on the hill and looking up at the dark sky as if she was looking for a pair of eyes up there. After a long time, Wang Lin opened his eyes and walked out of the temple. He stood in the Seven Dao sect alone, and his expression gradually became gloomy. He still had to face the cruel reality. A dramatic change must have taken place in the Heavenly Bull continent during these months. This change caused them to change their reward to me or force me to leave, but they allowed me to leave. As for the Great Soul Sect, Wang Lin's eyes lit up. He vaguely felt like he had grasped something, but it wasn't clear. He raised his right hand and opened his palm. A 3-inch person immediately appeared. After the little person appeared, it knelt down and bowed at Wang Lin 3 times. Wang Lin's heart trembled, and he closed his palm. His divination was blurry, and he could not see anything, but one sentence appeared in his heart. The matter of the reward has its own reasons. This old man will not change. If Wang Lin doesn't agree quickly, this is the proof this old man will now leave. This sentence came from the hair that old ancestor Green Bull had left with the Guiyi sect's sect master for Wang Lin. Wang Lin carefully thought about this sentence. The soul-eyed Dao had revealed a blur, and only this sentence appeared. There had to be a hidden meaning inside. Wang Lin muttered it several times, and his body suddenly trembled violently. He suddenly looked up and his eyes shined brightly. The matter of the reward has its own reasons there. This old man will not change. If Wang Lin doesn't agree quickly, this is the proof this old man will now leave. The last word of each line are, there, change, quickly, leave. There are, change, quickly, leave. Something has changed. Leave? Wang Lin took a deep breath. This sentence was a secret reminder. No matter how it was explained, it was old ancestor Green Bull's method of telling Wang Lin to quickly leave. Even with old ancestor Green Bull's cultivation level, he had to imply this to me. He even worried about me not understanding and worked with the Guiyi sect's sect master to give me an unfair reward to force me out from the Heavenly Bull continent. Once I leave, that means I can stay in the Heavenly Bull continent, and will have to leave as soon as possible. Old ancestor Green Bull wants me to leave the Heavenly Bull continent as soon as possible. Wang Lin silently pondered. He felt like there was a huge mystery covering the Heavenly Bull continent, and it was the reason for the sudden change in attitude of the Great Soul Sect and the Guiyi sect. Similarly, Wang Lin speculated that this mystery was likely connected to the Green Devil continent. He always had doubts about the real reason the 2 continents had gone to war. Wang Lin thought about it a lot, but all of it was his speculation. He didn't know the real secret. After a moment, Wang Lin looked into the distance and revealed a decisive gaze. Forget it, this place is already murky water. Since the matter has already occurred, it's useless to think about. It is time to leave the Heavenly Bull continent. However, I fear that leaving won't be so simple. There will likely be obstructions if my guess is correct. A majority of them will be from the Green Devil continent. Wang Lin muttered to himself. He was about to leave, but his expression suddenly changed, and he looked at the mountain covered in black fog. In a flash, he disappeared without a trace. After Wang Lin disappeared, the fog churned and a figure flew in from the outside. This figure was very careful and carefully looked around to make sure there was no one following him before he felt relieved. He slowly landed on the square of the 7 Dao sect. Damn it, I encountered some problems on the way and arrived a few days late. I hope I didn't delay the arrangement set by the old ancestor. The figure looked nervous as he looked around. Then he found a corner and was about to sit down. However, just at this moment, a voice echoed through the square. Du Qing. This figure was Du Qing. After he heard someone shouting his name, he immediately flew into the air in panic. But soon that panic became joy. Fellow cultivator Wang Lin. He heard Wang Lin's voice. Wang Lin frowned and appeared. He looked at Du Qing, who he hadn't seen for a while, and suddenly spoke. Who told you to come here? Elder Wang, it was the Great Soul Sect's old ancestor Green Bull who found me a few months ago to arrive here 3 days ago to deliver something to you. Du Qing quickly landed before Wang Lin, and his right hand reached out. A black stone appeared in his hand. This stone looked every ordinary. Du Qing had spent the whole time trying to find some clues along the way, but he couldn't find anything. However, he remembered how serious old ancestor Green Bull's expression was, so he felt that it was definitely a treasure. Wang Lin's eyes lit as he took the black stone and looked at it. His pupils shrank. He felt the aura of the Soul Eye Dao from it. At 36, Leo is still getting wisdom teeth, in pain for many days, with swollen jaws, frustrated, and they're not even breaking through yet. Counting them, there are 3 or 4 wisdom teeth not yet emerged. Wang Lin held the black stone up. It was not a space stone. He looked up at Du Qing and clasped his hands. "Many thanks, Brother Du." Du Qing quickly shook his head. He blinked and softly asked, "What is inside?" Wang Lin faintly smiled and shook his head without answering. He looked at the sky and spoke slowly. "I want to say more. Brother Du, if there is a chance, we will meet again. Goodbye." Wang Lin let out a sigh and disappeared with one step toward the sky. As Du Qing looked at Wang Lin's departing figure, he vaguely understood something. He secretly let out a sigh and shook his head. He then turned into a ray of light to head back to the Great Soul Sect to tell old ancestor Green Bull he had completed his task. Wang Lin merged with the world and left the 7 Dao sect. He appeared in a desolate desert, which was not common in the Heavenly Bull continent. It was night and the cold wind was blowing through the desert. The wind was bone-chilling and was enough to freeze mortals. Cultivators could resist it, but for third-step cultivators like Wang Lin, this wind felt gentle. He was still holding the black stone in his hand. He lowered his head and looked at the stone in his palm. He didn't know if he should open it. Although he didn't know what it was, the Soul Eye Dao aura secretly told Wang Lin the method to opening it. A moment later, Wang Lin revealed a decisive gaze. He opened his palm, and the 3-inch little person appeared next to the black stone. In a flash, it entered the stone. Crackling sounds echoed across the desert night, entering Wang Lin's ears along with the howl of the wind. After the 3-inch little person entered, thin cracks appeared on the stone, and within 3 breaths of time, it shattered completely. 4 balls of light suddenly flew out. After seeing the 4 balls of light, Wang Lin's heart trembled and he was startled. The first ball of light contained a fist-sized Earthman. The Earthman was sitting down. It had no orifices, but its body constantly changed between armor and humanoid. A burst of earth element came from it. It seemed to fuse with the sand here, causing the sand to gently move. Wang Lin didn't know much about the suits of armor from the Guiyi sect, but he had seen some in the cave world, and the ones the Guiyi sect had gifted out to the messengers. However, those suits of armor could not compare to the human armor inside the ball of light in terms of appearance or aura. Even Wang Lin, who didn't know much, could tell that they were not on the same level. Generate now. This human-shaped armor was likely rare even in the Guiyi sect. Wang Lin didn't know what price old ancestor Green Bull had paid to obtain one for Wang Lin. Wang Lin silently pondered. Inside the second ball of light there was a small black sail. To be precise, it was a ghostly sail. It gave off an aura that would make one lose themselves in a dream. Wang Lin could feel the aura of the primary ghost sail that was used as the sect protection formation of the Great Soul Sect. If Wang Lin's speculation was correct, then this was the vice ghostly sail that was part of the reward for killing Wang Lin. Looking at the little ghostly sail, Wang Lin felt an indescribable feeling. The sect protection ghostly sail was very important to the Great Soul Sect. But old ancestor Green Bull had unexpectedly gifted it to him. Wang Lin could only silently ponder. Inside the third ball of light there was a brown bead. This bead was the same size as the heaven-defying bead, and even its aura was similar. After seeing this bead, Wang Lin had the illusion that he was looking at the heaven-defying bead that had fused with his soul. This is Wang Lin was startled for a moment as he stared at it. He found more and more aspects that were the same as his heaven-defying bead, but it wasn't all of it. Although the bead was very similar to the heaven-defying bead, it was like comparing the firefly to the bright moon. One could become the sun, while the other could only be a faint starlight. Wang Lin felt the aura of the heavenly bull from this bead. Although he didn't know what it was, he had his guesses. It had a deep connection with the heavenly bull. Anything related to the heavenly bull was an important treasure to the heavenly bull continent. It would not be easily given out, nor would it be allowed to leave the heavenly bull continent. However, the bead had been sent to Wang Lin. Although it seemed very light, It weighed heavily on Wang Lin's heart. There was also the fourth ball of light. Inside was a broken tortoiseshell that was covered in some pattern. Looking at it with the naked eye, it was blurry. However, when he looked at it with his divine sense, Wang Lin suddenly looked back toward the Great Soul Sect. He seemed to see an old man in the Great Soul Sect sitting on the Green Sky Mountain. The old man was smiling at him, and he raised his right hand as if he was saying goodbye to Wang Lin. The tortoiseshell contained the entire map of the eastern continent. It was not very detailed, and the further from the Heavenly Bull continent it was, the more vague it became. It was mostly just a rough outline and simple introduction. But this map was extremely important to Wang Lin right now. In the tortoiseshell, aside from the map, there was also a detailed description of the Heavenly Bull bead, which enlightened Wang Lin greatly. Unveil I. Esteemed Green Bull left only one sentence. It wasn't T in the form of a divine sense message. It had been engraved inside the tortoiseshell. Have a safe trip after 300 years. Come back to see the Great Soul Sect. There was no explanation, and it didn't mention the three conditions. It simply ended Wang Lin's karma with the Heavenly Bull continent with this one sentence. Wang Lin revealed a complicated expression. After a long time, he put away the human-shaped armor and the ghostly sail. He held up the Heavenly Bull bead and put the soul of the Heavenly Bull inside. Now he could take it anywhere he went. In the end, he carefully put the tortoise shell away and looked toward the Great Soul Sect. He clasped his hands and bowed. "I'll return," Wang Lin muttered before turning around. He flew away into the sky, toward the borders according to the map. He was going to the Donglin sect. The Donglin sect was in the northern part of the eastern continent in the Great Sage continent. It was 5 continents away from the Heavenly Bull continent. It was far away, and flying there would require years of time. Even with spatial bending, because Wang Lin couldn't use it repeatedly, it would still take him 1 to 2 years. And to head to the Donglin sect, there was one place he had to pass. The Green Devil continent. If he were to go around, it would waste even more time, and it would not just be 5 continents. There would be even more dangerous places to traverse. After pondering for a moment, Wang Lin's eyes lit up. He vaguely guessed that the change in the Great Soul Sect and the Guiyi sect was related to the Green Devil continent. He didn't know if he was right or wrong, but if he was right, then there would likely be someone waiting for him at the edge of the Heavenly Bull continent. Although going to the Green Devil continent seemed dangerous, the place was mostly empty now. Perhaps the most dangerous place was actually the safest. After all, very few people would think that Wang Lin would dare to head to the Green Devil continent alone. After making his decision, Wang Lin changed directions and used spatial bending toward the Pill Sea. He was very careful as he charged at the Pill Sea. When he could not use spatial bending, he didn't fly through the air. After all, everyone in the Heavenly Bull continent was his enemy right now. Whether it was cultivators from the Heavenly Bull continent or the Green Devil continent, as long as they recognized him, it would be a slaughter. After all, ordinary Heavenly Bull continent cultivators only knew of the soul order, not the details. But Wang Lin was unwilling to kill Heavenly Bull continent cultivators, so whenever he could not use spatial bending, he would go into hiding. Once the time had passed, he would rush once more. As a result, his movement was a lot slower. When he moved past the extreme sky prairie and was only 1 spatial bending from the Pill Sea, which would take about 3 months of flight, several months had already passed. At this part of the Heavenly Bull continent, it was currently winter. Snow was falling from the sky, and this storm extended for tens of thousands of kilometers. It would still take half a month for Wang Lin to use spatial bending again. He spent this time in closed-door cultivation, and his injuries improved. He stepped on the snow and faced the cold wind as he moved forward. Discover now. Not far from him there was a mortal city in the snowy dusk that emitted scattered light. The smoke rose into the sky and blended together with the snow. It was very calm and very beautiful. This was the first time Wang Lin was going to enter the mortal world in the immortal astral continent. Although this place was still some distance from the Pill Sea, it was still considered its neighbor, but it was not destroyed when the Pill Sea collapsed. No mortal should have died due to the collapse of the Pill Sea. After all, the legend of the Pill Sea had existed for a long time. Whether it was the Green Devil continent or the Heavenly Bull continent, they would have made the area around the Pill Sea a forbidden land for mortals. However, if the celestial pill had exploded closer to the Heavenly Bull continent, then the city before Wang Lin would have instantly disappeared. The snowstorm became even more intense. The wind howled as if there was an evil spirit roaring in the sky. The rising smoke was immediately scattered before it could gather. The people in the city all wore cotton clothing and quickly walked home with their heads down. Wang Lin walked into the city at this moment. Leo has caught a cold, his nose running like a leaky faucet, making it unlikely he'll make it home tomorrow. Trying hard to ensure a new update, but lacking the energy, longing for the like button for the video. The snow fell and the cold wind blew by in the night as Wang Lin walked towards the city. He didn't know why he wanted to come here after he detected this city. Perhaps I am searching for a feeling of being ordinary. Wang Lin walked in the show, causing a squeaking noise. A few snowflakes fell on his face. They were very cold. He walked from one side of the city to another. He left his footprints behind in the city, but they were quickly covered up by the snow. On the other side of the city, Wang Lin looked back. Along the way, he saw the entire city and the tens of thousands of lights coming from the homes. However, there was no feeling of warmth. He was like the footprints covered by the snow. He didn't belong here. This was the first time Wang Lin had this indescribable feeling. He vaguely understood that as his cultivation level increased, he had lost his final ties with the mortals. He secretly knew that turning to mortals 3 times was the limit, and after 3 times, it was time to cut it off. This was a change in mentality. He wanted to rest in the city and watch the mortals live, but he was unable to fully integrate himself anymore. Is my heart no longer calm? Wang Lin looked up at the snow in the sky. He stood beside the gate at night alone, muttering to himself. I now have 8 essences. I only need 1 more essence to enter the arcane void stage. After that, I am confident I can quickly go through the 9 arcane tribulants. Perhaps my heart is no longer calm, but I know that one day it will be calm and I'll be able to silently comprehend the world in a mortal city. Wang Lin came, but he left with a sense of melancholy. It was as if he had left something and he could not find it. This is the price of being strong. Wang Lin silently walked through the closed city gate. He faced the wind as he walked away from the city. The tens of thousands of lights shined behind him and gave off warmth. Wang Lin longed for this warmth, but he could not touch it. The howling of the wind echoed through the snow, gradually forming a song of wind and snow that accompanied Wang Lin's lonely figure. A few months later, in the collapsed Pill Sea, this place had become a giant basin. There was nothing here. There was no trace of vitality, only desolation and death. Wang Lin's figure appeared in the sky above the Pill Sea. This was the second time he had come here. Compared to last time, he was in a parting mood. As Wang Lin walked through the desolate Pill Sea, he had his divine sense spread out. The closer he got to the Green Devil continent, the more cautious he was. After a month, when he stepped onto the Green Devil continent, he felt a gloomy aura shrouding the entire continent. This gloomy aura exuded coldness and bloodthirst, with a hint of evil. Mortals, beasts, and even cultivators born here would contain a hint of devilish nature. The land of the Green Devil continent was very different from the Heavenly Bull continent. There were few mountains, and most of the terrain was occupied by swamps. The endless swamps looked like they contained many terrible legends. It made one's skin crawl just walking over them. Wang Lin disliked the Green Devil continent a lot. There weren't many powerful cultivators left in the Green Devil continent. Mostly weak cultivators that held no threat to Wang Lin remained. However, he still maintained his previous pace, where he used spatial bending to cross the Green Devil continent. He could feel that deep within the Green Devil continent, there was a mysterious force. This force was monstrous and filled with devilish energy. According to the tortoiseshell, that was the location of the Green Devil continent's Green Devil Scorpion Temple. The Heavenly Bull continent didn't have a Heavenly Bull temple. This kind of temple required permission from the emperor. Without it, a temple couldn't be built. The devilish energy was very strong enough to affect one's mind. Wang Lin didn't approach that place, but went around it. He continued to teleport toward the border of the Hmong Earth continent. Time slowly passed. In a flash, several months went by. During this time, Wang Lin encountered some cultivators, but none of them could stop him. After several months, Wang Lin appeared at the edge of the Green Devil continent. At the border to the Hmong Earth continent was one of the rare mountain ranges in the Green Devil continent. It was very tall and seemed to connect to the sky. After going over the mountain range, he would be at the Hmong Earth continent. Standing under the mountain range, Wang Lin calmly looked at the towering mountains. He felt two monstrous devilish energy sources at the peak, which condensed to two giant scorpions that were coiled before the mountain. Those were two green devil messengers. Behind those two devilish energy sources, there was a monstrous sword energy at the peak of the mountain. When Wang Lin arrived, the ancient sword energy released an aura that could destroy the heavens and earth as it floated at the mountaintop. This was the first time Wang Lin had encountered a power that could stop him in the Green Devil continent. He felt a familiar aura coming from the sword. This meant that Wang Lin's decision to leave through the Green Devil continent was correct. If he had gone any other direction, he would have encountered even more obstacles. Three people, they give me too much credit. Wang Lin remained casual and walked toward the mountain. The moment he stepped forward, two Green Devil auras rushed out. From a distance, they looked like two fierce Green Devil scorpions that were rushing down from the mountaintop toward Wang Lin. Shortly after, the ancient sword shadow at the top of the mountain let out a powerful sword hymn. It swept across the world and chopped down, following the two shadows. The world trembled. The power of this sword seemed to replace all light in the world. It was like a ray of light in the void. There was a flash of coldness in Wang Lin's eyes, and the tattoo on the right side of his face flashed. It transformed into countless black threads that surrounded Wang Lin and turned into a suit of armor that left only his white hair and cold eyes exposed. After Wang Lin put on the soul armor, his aura erupted, and he instantly reached the early stage of void turbulent. He stepped forward and instantly closed in on the Green Devil Scorpion that was the first Green Devil messenger. Just as the two closed in, before Wang Lin even attacked, the Green Devil Messenger's cold face revealed a trace of madness. He didn't even use any spells, and the moment Wang Lin arrived, his hands formed a seal and he pointed to the spot between his eyebrows. Shortly after, a terrifying aura came from his body. This Green Devil Messenger was at the mid-stage of void turbulent, and he actually chose to self-destruct at this moment. This was a complete self-destruction without any hesitation. He suddenly exploded. The self-destruction of a mid-stage void turbulent cultivator was enough to shake the Green Devil continent. This force was powerful enough to even make late-stage void turbulent cultivators frown. There was no reason or any foreboding. After this Green Devil Messenger exploded, the other Green Devil Messenger behind him also chose self-destruct. The self-destruction of two mid-stage void turbulent cultivators could even force back a late-stage void turbulent cultivator. When the two Green Devil Messengers exploded, Wang Lin's eyes lit up and a powerful sense of crisis washed over him. The crisis was not from the power of the self-destruction, but why they had decided to self-destruct. The fight hadn't even begun, but they had chosen to self-destruct. This was simply too strange. Also behind him was Void Cloud, who controlled the powerful sword energy. The three of them had the power to fight Wang Lin, so there was no need to self-destruct at all. This was something extremely abnormal. To be willing to sacrifice two mid-stage void turbulent Green Devil Messengers, the Green Devil continent had to be up to something monstrous. They wouldn't allow Wang Lin to easily leave this place. Thunderous rumbles echoed and Wang Lin's eyes lit up. His right reached at the void and the human-shaped earth element armor appeared. With a wave, an earth yellow light surrounded his body. Shortly after, Wang Lin erupted his full cultivation and he no longer hid his ancient Dao aura. Once his ancient Dao aura was fully released, a huge figure that could support the world appeared. The moment the figure appeared, everyone within tens of thousands of kilometers could see it. A clear ripple of ancient Dao power spread out. The ancient Dao shadow let out a roar toward the sky and shrouded Wang Lin from the force of the self-destruction of the two Green Devil Messengers. There was a thunderous bang as the destructive force of the first self-destruction smashed into the ancient Dao shadow. The shadow trembled and showed signs of collapsing when the destructive force of the second self-destruction arrived. The rumble was heaven-shattering, and the ancient Dao shadow, powered up by Wang Lin's early-stage void turbulent cultivation, suddenly collapsed. When the shadow collapsed, a portion of the destructive force from the two self-destructions still remained, and they fell on the first layer of the armor Wang Lin was wearing, the human-shaped earth element armor. Leo has a cold, with a sore throat and a bit of dizziness, not daring to promise that there will be a third wash today, doing his utmost to get through. The terrifying destructive force was completely resisted by Wang Lin's ancient Dao shadow, his powerful physical body, and the mysterious human-shaped earth element armor. Even so, Wang Lin felt his origin soul tremble, and he was forced back tens of thousands of feet as blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. A palm-sized fracture appeared at the chest area of the earth element armor, but it didn't collapse. They want to injure me to delay me. Wang Lin had tried spatial bending, but the area had been sealed. Even with the soul armor, he was unable to cross this mountain. As Wang Lin retreated, the monstrous sword energy closed in. It was extremely amazing, as if it was going to cut the earth in half with the strike. It instantly closed in. Wang Lin suddenly raised his head, and his right hand punched toward the sword. When facing this kind of extreme sword shadow, spells were too complex. It was better to just throw a punch. A thunderous rumble echoed as the sword shadow trembled and collapsed. However, Wang Lin felt his right arm go numb, and the arm of the human-shaped armor cracked. The sword energy rushed into Wang Lin's body, and was about to launch a destructive attack when Wang Lin suppressed it by force. He charged toward the young man standing at the top of the mountain. The young man had a cold expression as he stared at Wang Lin. He was Void Cloud. As Wang Lin closed in, Void Cloud raised his sword, and the second strike appeared. A monstrous sword shadow cut down on Wang Lin. This strike was 30% stronger than the previous one. Wang Lin let out a roar as he threw a punch with his right hand. Thunderous rumbles echoed, and the second sword collapsed. The right arm of Wang Lin's earth element armor exploded. But after the second strike disappeared, Void Cloud released the third and fourth strikes. Two monstrous sword energy strikes shot toward Wang Lin. Thunderous rumbles echoed as Wang Lin charged forward. He was about 1,000 feet from Void Cloud, and his face was filled with killing intent. Void Cloud's face was slightly pale as he stared at Wang Lin. When Wang Lin closed in, he bit the tip of his tongue and spat out blood. This blood was golden and turned into sword shadows that shot toward Wang Lin. Immediately after, he raised his right hand, and an ancient sword filled with a royal aura appeared. He grabbed it and jumped into the air. He released the final strike after the 9 sword shadows. When Wang Lin saw the ancient sword that gave off a royal aura, he immediately felt a trace of Grand Empyrean power from it. This sword was the same as his gold print. It was a treasure formed by a Grand Empyrean by condensing a spell. As the 9 sword shadows closed in, Wang Lin's eyes lit up. He was going to leave, and anyone who tried to block him would have to endure his anger. The armor on his right arm had collapsed, but he still had his left arm. His left arm formed a first, and he threw 9 punches at the 9 sword shadows. "Let's see whether your sword is sharper or my fist is harder." A thunderous rumble echoed across the mountains, forming a storm that swept the area. The 9 sword shadows collapsed, and so did the armor on Wang Lin's left arm. However, he was above to move forward 1,000 feet, and got within 200 feet of Void Cloud, who was about to release one last strike. A treasure condensed from a spell by a Grand Empyrean. I have one as well. Wang Lin didn't use Sundered Night. Even with his cultivation level increased by the soul armor, he could not use it twice in a row. He had to save it for the critical moment. The battle with Void Cloud seemed difficult, but not enough for Wang Lin to use Sundered Night. He had seen through the thoughts of Void Cloud and the 2 Green Devil messengers. This battle was purely to delay him. The moment Wang Lin's words echoed, his right hand reached at the void and a golden print appeared. After the golden print appeared, it collided with the ancient sword. A thunderous rumble echoed and Void Cloud coughed out blood. He looked weakened now. The sword in his hand shattered into countless fragments, and he was knocked into the ground. A deep crack appeared on Wang Lin's gold print, but it didn't break. It became dim, and Wang Lin put it away. When 2 treasures made by Grand Empyreans collided, the quality of the treasures and spells didn't matter. The main focus was the amount of faith power they had used to form the treasures. To be born from nothing was already a mysterious thing. It was obvious that the faith power in Void Cloud's sword was far below that of Wang Lin's gold print. After putting away the gold print, Wang Lin stood at the top of the mountain and coldly stared at Void Cloud, who landed not far away. Blood continued to leak out from Void Cloud's mouth. He looked at Wang Lin, and he looked defeated. I lost. He didn't mention the fact that Wang Lin was wearing the Heavenly Bull soul armor, nor did he mention the Grand Empyrean treasure. A loss was a loss. But you also lost. Void Cloud struggled to stand up and looked at Wang Lin with a complicated expression. Your soul armor is almost out of time. Their self-destructions and my effort were to merely delay you here for a while. We didn't think or figure out you would actually leave through here. As Void Cloud spoke, Wang Lin charged toward the other side of the mountain. He didn't listen to his nonsense, and as he charged forward, he waved his right hand. A ray of bloodlight pierced through the eyebrows of the seriously injured Void Cloud. There was no miserable scream, and there was no resistance. The blood sword penetrated Void Cloud's head and returned to Wang Lin. As for the dead Void Cloud, Wang Lin had no time to check if it was the original body or an avatar. He felt a sense of crisis growing, and this feeling was similar to when he first met Taoist water. What Wang Lin was looking at from the endless mountain range was an endless desert. This was the most common type of landscape for the Hmong Earth continent. Almost 70% of the continent was like this. Rumor said that a long time ago, a foreign cultivator came here and was defeated by the celestial ancestor. The cultivator was sealed here, and he had a terrifying earth power, so after he was sealed here, this continent became like this. This person was rumored to be named Hmong, so after countless years, this place was named Hmong Earth Continent. This place was filled with the aura of the earth essence, similar to the Green Devil continent. The Green Devil continent was a continent of earth essence. The Green Devil scorpion was a fierce beast that lived in the earth. However, it was covered up by its devilish aura, making it difficult to notice. These rumors were recorded in detail in the tortoise shell given to Wang Lin. These thoughts appeared in his mind, but he didn't have time to think about them. He borrowed the speed of the soul armor to rush toward the Hmong Earth continent, while he couldn't use spatial bending. He was getting closer and closer. The tens of thousands of kilometers of distance were crossed quickly by Wang Lin. He was only 1,000 kilometers away. The Hmong Earth continent was in sight. But just at this moment, the world changed colors and blinding light came from 6 different locations before Wang Lin. Ripples echoed. These were signs of transfer arrays activating. The transfer arrays activated quickly. Just as Wang Lin looked over, dozens of figures appeared in each of the 6 transfer arrays. More than 100 figures appeared, and powerful auras spread out. The activation of these 6 transfer arrays cost the Green Devil continent a great price, especially since they were teleporting so many people. The higher the cultivation level, the greater the price. If it was a 3rd-step cultivator, the price was indescribable. And these hundreds of cultivators were all very powerful. Transferring them had depleted more than 100,000 years of savings from the Green Devil continent. These people were originally lying in ambush at various borders of the Heavenly Bull continent, waiting for Wang Lin. However, due to an error in their prediction, they had to forcibly teleport people here. This was only a portion of the people, and there were even more teleporting here. These cultivators all wore similar clothes. Although the colors were different, the black and white moon patterns on their clothes were all the same. Wang Lin had seen this pattern on the tortoise shell. This symbol belonged to the #1 sect of the Green Devil continent, the Devil Dao sect. The blockades and chase targeting Wang Lin was not an effort by the entire Green Devil continent, just the Devil Dao sect. The Hmong Earth continent was 1,000 kilometers away, but the Devil Dao sect had arrived to stop Wang Lin. The feeling that a crisis was approaching became even stronger. Wang Lin's pupils shrank. As he rushed forward, the more than 100 cultivators that had appeared from the 6 transfer arrays flew out. At the same time, they all threw something toward Wang Lin. 9 heads of cultivators from the Extreme Sky Prairie, head of the rogue void tribulent cultivator from the Extreme Sky Prairie. Extreme Sky Prairie. Those cold voices echoed through the world and entered Wang Lin's ears, causing his heart to tremble. He looked at the heads and their miserable expressions. He was familiar with them. They were the cultivators that had fought alongside him for several months at the 3rd meridian and survived. He didn't know their names, but he had remembered their faces. The hundreds of heads were almost half of the people that had survived the Extreme Sky Prairie. Don't you like human heads? This is the first gift my Dao Devil sect is giving you. A poisonous voice echoed through the world. Devil Dao sect, if I leave this place today, I'll return and destroy your entire sect. Wang Lin's eyes revealed a monstrous red light, and he made this oath in his heart. This was the first time he felt such a strong desire to destroy a sect on the immortal astral continent. Leo goes to the hospital with his wife, then directly to pick up his daughter from school, continuing the storytelling upon return. Sundered night, Wang Lin suddenly turned around. He knew it would be extremely difficult to leave. The Devil Dao sect was willing to do everything to kill him. The surrounding cultivators and the heads that covered the earth were enough to explain everything. If he wanted to leave, he would have to give it his all. He had to be fast, or else more Devil Dao sect cultivators would arrive through the transfer array. At some point, Wang Lin would have no chance of leaving. The longer he stayed here, the lower his chance of survival. After saying these two words, the border to the Hmong Earth continent was suddenly filled with the illusion of a sea and was shrouded by the darkness of night. After sundered night appeared, Wang Lin used the strongest spell he could use as a cultivator. The sun rose and released the power to tear apart the night. No matter what cultivation level, the hundreds of Devil Dao sect cultivators let out a miserable screams under the force of sundered night. Their bodies collapsed and their origin souls were destroyed. There was also the 100 people coming through the transfer array. Before their bodies could condense, they died. After sundered night, the world changed colors. Aside from Wang Lin, there was no other living soul. His face was deathly pale and the soul armor was about to dissipate. He didn't hesitate to charge toward the Hmong Earth continent 1,000 kilometers away. It wasn't that he didn't consider destroying the 7 transfer arrays, but these transfer arrays were abnormal. They had remained intact after sundered night, meaning he could now destroy them quickly. In a flash, Wang Lin crossed half of the 1,000-kilometer distance, but at this moment, the 7 transfer arrays lit up. Even more powerful fluctuations came from the transfer array, and the third wave of 100 cultivators chased after Wang Lin. There were 4 mid-stage void tribulent and 4 late-stage void tribulent cultivators among these 100. The Devil Dao sect was bringing out almost all their power to hunt Wang Lin. They were using the force of an entire sect to kill a person. This kind of slaughter was related to private grudges, but that wouldn't be the only reason. No sect master or ancestor of the 9 sects and 13 factions would be so blind. Wang Lin's eyes were bloodshot. As the 100 of people chased after him, he knew it would be impossible to cross this 500-kilometer distance. Various spells and treasures from cultivators flew toward Wang Lin. As the 5 void tribulent cultivators closed in, Wang Lin raised his right hand, and all the ancient Dao power inside him erupted. A giant ancient Dao shadow appeared behind him. This shadow was a bit blurry. It was apparent it had been damaged from the self-destruction of the 2 green devil messengers. However, it still gave people a sense of suppression from the bottom of their hearts. God Tremble, Army Formation, Demon Spell, Wind and Fire Mountain, Devil Dao, Life and Death Reverse. Wang Lin's right hand pushed forward. The 100 cultivators, aside from the late-stage void tribulent old monsters, all trembled and their flight paths became distorted. They all lined up like a mortal army before Wang Lin. This was the army formation. The power of God Tremble echoed like ripples, causing half of these cultivators to bleed from their orifices. Wang Lin's fist opened to a palm and smoke came out of the heads of the cultivators. The smoke condensed into a mountain above them. This mountain was made of smoke and smashed down. The palm turned into a point. Life and death changed as the cultivators let out miserable cries. Most of them collapsed, but the only late-stage void tribulent cultivator not restricted by this closed in on Wang Lin. At this moment, Wang Lin's ancient Dao no Celestial's full power erupted. God, Demon, Devil, Ancient Dao no Celestials. This ancient Dao no Celestials was casted after his cultivation level was increased to early-stage void tribulent by the soul armor. Its power was amazing, and although different from sundered night, the destructive power was the same. Thunderous rumbles rang out, and a gray ripple echoed. The 100 cultivators all died. The expression of the late-stage void tribulent old monster changed, and he quickly retreated. However, he still touched the gray ripples. The old man's face immediately turned white and his legs began to turn into stone. He touched his own body with his hands, and every time he did so, he sent in a burst of energy to resist the ancient Dao power invading his body. Aside from him, all the Devil Dao sect cultivators at the border of the Green Devil continent died. Blood flowed out from the corner of Wang Lin's mouth. He had used up all his ancient Dao power and the armor around him became weak. Parts of it had already turned into threads, and it was about to dissipate. Wang Lin clenched his teeth and rushed forward. In a flash, 500 kilometers became 200 kilometers. However, just at this moment, the 7 transfer arrays lit up once more. The 4th wave of cultivators appeared and chased after Wang Lin. War Spirit Print. 7 colored lance. Dark moon, clear sky. Flowing time. Essences. Condense. Wang Lin's eyes were red. He was going to cast all his spells before his soul armor dissipated to kill these Devil Dao cultivators. After the War Spirit print was used, the huge six-fingered palm print smashed down toward the 100 people. At the same time, the third transformation, the seven-colored lance, flew forward. Dark moon clear sky turned into a bloody moon. It began a corrosive slaughter with the reversal of time and the eruption of his essences. When Wang Lin casted all these spells, a thunderous bang echoed. The soul armor around Wang Lin turned into threads and gathered on the right side of his face. However, under Wang Lin's crazed attacks, almost all the cultivators from the fourth wave died. Only 3 survived, and they looked at Wang Lin with deep fear in their eyes. After the continuous attacks, 3 of the 7 transfer arrays finally collapsed. Wang Lin was knocked back and was only 100 kilometers from the Hmong Earth continent, but not only did the feeling of the crisis not lessen, it became even stronger. The 4 remaining transfer arrays were no longer fixed, but a strange force shrouded them, allowing them to move in a way no cultivator could. In a flash, they appeared 50 kilometers away from Wang Lin. The moment they appeared, they released a blinding light, and the 5th wave of 100 cultivators rushed out toward Wang Lin, filled with killing intent. The moment these cultivators appeared, the several void turbulent cultivators that had dodged Wang Lin's attack closed in. They circled Wang Lin, not giving him a chance to escape. Wang Lin's eyes were bloodshot. Only a small portion of his soul armor had indeed dissipated. His spells seemed to have been used up, but he still had a trick left. His fire essence true body appeared and suddenly spread out, and instantly shrouded the area. Ethereal fire burn, Wang Lin roared with his hoarse voice. The 100 cultivators here were filled with emotions, so they were the best fuel for ethereal fire. The ethereal fire began to burn the cultivators. Bursts of fire lit up and miserable screams echoed. Anyone who blocks me will die. Wang Lin bit his tongue to force his fatigue to disappear. With a roar, he rushed forward. With a flash of blood-colored light, the blood sword appeared in his right hand. He waved his left hand and the vice ghostly sail appeared. The sail turned into black fog, which then turned into countless ghosts that rushed out before Wang Lin. This scene was simply shocking. The cultivators being burnt by ethereal fire were either killed by the fire or by Wang Lin's blood sword. The rest didn't dare to attack while facing Wang Lin's monstrous killing intent that would kill anything that got in his way. As Wang Lin charged forward, he was filled with killing intent, and across the 100-kilometer distance. More and more of the 100 cultivators died as the rest retreated and looked at Wang Lin in terror. It wasn't that they hadn't met a powerful cultivator before, but someone as murderous and difficult to kill as Wang Lin was extremely rare. The price of killing Wang Lin would be even greater than opening the large transfer arrays. This price was likely a sect being wiped out. A heavy cost that would make the 9 sects and 13 factions into 8 sects and 13 factions. The moment Wang Lin stepped onto the Hmong Earth continent, the rest of the soul armor on his body returned back to the heavenly bull tattoo on the right side of his face. A sense of weakness washed over his body, but he suppressed it again. There was still the human-shaped earth element armor on his body. Although half of it had collapsed, it still provided powerful protection. Standing on the Hmong Earth continent, he staggered as blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth and he rushed away. He understood that as a rogue cultivator, he could cross between 2 continents. However, large amounts of Devil Dao sect disciples entering was very different. The Devil Dao sect must have considered this, otherwise, they wouldn't have ordered 2 Green Devil messengers to self-destruct and Void Cloud to delay him to make sure he stayed in the Green Devil continent. If they didn't care, they could have just slaughtered their way into the Hmong Earth continent to chase after him. As Wang Lin guessed, the cultivators of the Dao Devil sect stopped outside the Hmong Earth continent. They hesitated and didn't continue to chase. But just at this moment, 4 of the transfer arrays shined once more. 3 of them brought dozens of cultivators, while the 4th transfer array only had 1 person. Sect Master! Greetings, Sect Master! When this man appeared, all the cultivators bowed. Leo steps out without his laptop charger. The computer has no power, so he reads the chapters using his phone, typing manually. Tears are flowing. The person who walked out from the 4th transfer array was a middle-aged man. He was wearing a black and white Taoist robe. He was tall and gave off an abnormal aura. He was very handsome, but his lips were thin, which gave him a cold aura. This person was definitely harsh and merciless. He would never use up the power of an entire sect just to kill one person. The moment he walked out of the formation, the aura of a peak late-stage void turbulent cultivator spread out. The moment his aura spread out, the world changed colors. It was as if countless devil gods had appeared and started roaring. He was one step away from peak void turbulent. After he walked out, all the Devil Dao sect cultivators half knelt to the ground and lowered their heads. Only this man stood there and looked at Wang Lin, who was escaping deeper into the Hmong Earth continent, with an indifferent gaze. Wang Lin's heart trembled. The moment the middle-aged man had walked out of the formation, the hidden sense of crisis he felt suddenly erupted. This life-or-death crisis came from the middle-aged man behind him. The Devil Dao sect's sect master? Wang Lin didn't look back. He moved as fast as he could. He still couldn't use spatial bending, so he moved into the distance like a shadow. He could feel that he only needed to fly out a bit more, and the force that sealed the world would disappear. Then he could merge with the world. However, the Devil Dao sect's sect master was calm and didn't hesitate like the other Devil Dao cultivators. He stepped across the border and entered the Hmong Earth continent. The moment he entered the Hmong Earth continent, he floated in the air and looked at Wang Lin. He slowly raised his right hand and pointed at the sky. Devil Dao. These were the first two words he said. The moment his words echoed, the endless mountain range at the border of the two continents began to tremble violently. This trembling quickly spread, creating a thunderous rumble. As the rumble echoed, the dragon-like mountain range was pulled by an invisible force. At the edge of the left side of the mountain range, the force gathered to form a giant figure. This figure was that of a white-haired old man wearing a white robe. He had the air of a celestial. He had a kind smile as he waved his sleeve at the mountain range. At the same time, at the other end of the mountain range, another giant shadow appeared. This was a devilish shadow covered in devilish energy. It was a cold-looking young man wearing a black robe. He gave off a defying aura filled with bloodthirst and killing intent. When he appeared, he pointed at the mountain range below. This scene shocked all the Devil Dao sect cultivators. They looked at their sect master with feverish gazes. Under the spells of the celestial-looking old man in the Taoist robe and the devilish young man in the black robe, the endless mountain range rumbled. The mountain range that was tens of thousands of kilometers wide was uprooted from the earth. The world rumbled as the mountain rose into the air. From afar, it looked like a dragon had risen into the sky. With a point from the Devil Dao sect's sect master, there was a deafening howl, and the tens of thousands of kilometers mountain range flew toward the Hmong Earth continent. Its speed could not be imagined, and it flew past Wang Lin in the blink of an eye. Wang Lin was startled for a moment. He saw the mountain range fly over him and land 2,000 kilometers away, in the desert of the Hmong Earth continent. If this mountain range was the boundary between the two continents, then Wang Lin was still in the Green Devil continent. The feeling of life or death increased like crazy, until it formed a giant shadow that shrouded Wang Lin's heart. This way, you are still in the Green Devil continent, the Devil Dao sect's sect master calmly said the second sentence since he came here. At the same time, he stepped forward and appeared less than 1,000 feet away from Wang Lin in a flash. Wang Lin gritted his teeth and rushed forward. He knew it would be very difficult for him to escape, but it was impossible for him to simply give up. Don't be afraid, I will not kill you. I have great use for you. The Devil Dao sect's sect master's eyes revealed a strange light. There was a hint of contempt in them, as if he was looking at an ant. He waved his sleeve at Wang Lin. He was simply too powerful. At this moment, Wang Lin's soul armor had dissipated, and his cultivation level had returned back to late-stage spirit void. After using so many spells, Wang Lin was like an empty oil lamp. The difference between their cultivation levels was simply too great. With that wave, Wang Lin revealed a decisive gaze and closed his eyes to connect to his avatar in the void. The moment the Devil Dao sect's sect master waved his sleeve, an extra aura appeared around Wang Lin's body. His eyes turned golden, and he waved his hand back. The world rumbled and Wang Lin's body trembled violently. He coughed out blood and was knocked back as he rushed toward the mountain range. This person was too strong. Even if Wang Lin could borrow power from the avatar, he would still be no match for this person. The collision just now had caused him to become seriously injured, and he was going to pass out. He bit his tongue to force himself to stay awake. The Devil Dao sect's sect master exclaimed softly, His eyes revealed a strange light as he looked at the escaping Wang Lin and shook his head. It indeed is the destined person at this point. He could still resist an attack from me very well. In this case, let me show you the true power of the Devil Dao Sect's handprint. Don't you know it as well? The middle-aged man raised his right hand and pushed at the sky. The sky seemed to collapse and fish scale-like ripples appeared. In a flash, the celestial-like old man in the white Taoist robe appeared. He stood in the air like he was looking down upon all life, and his gaze fell on the escaping Wang Lin. He rushed down from the sky toward Wang Lin. As the figure rushed out, he turned into a giant white palm print. This palm print didn't have 5 fingers but 7. On the other side of the celestial-like old man was a devilish-looking youth in a black robe. He stepped out with a cold snort and turned into a giant black 7-finger palm print that smashed down on Wang Lin. From afar, it looked like the world had turned into a painting. The black and white palm prints fell from the sky toward Wang Lin. Soon, the 2 prints fused 10,000 feet above Wang Lin to form a black and white celestial devil palm print. When this palm print appeared, the world seemed to turn upside down, and everything turned into a blur. Wang Lin stopped running and looked up at the giant celestial devil palm print descending. He silently pondered. There was no despair or sorrow within him. He was calm with a trace of regret. Wang Lin understood that he could not avoid this calamity. He regretted that he hadn't revived Li Muan, and that he hadn't found his friends on the immortal astral continent. With a sigh, Wang Lin closed his eyes. When he closed his eyes, he didn't give up struggling but called the heaven-defying bead that was in his soul that he hadn't used in a long time. Heaven-defying bead. The palm print instantly closed in on Wang Lin. At this moment, the Devil Dao Sect's sect master suddenly felt his heart skip a beat, and an indescribable sense of shock emerged in his mind. Without hesitation, he waved his right hand. A sound wave spread out in all directions. The palm print grabbed Wang Lin but didn't kill him. With a wave from the Devil Dao Sect's sect master, the palm firmly buried Wang Lin at its center. After doing all of this, the Devil Dao Sect's sect master flew into the air and fused with the palm print. He then flew into the depths of the Green Devil continent. The cultivators of the Devil Dao sect followed their sect master into the distance. After everyone left, the mountain range in the distance slowly retreated back to its original position. The Hmong Earth continent didn't respond, as if they had already reached an agreement. Rays of light filled the sky. The Devil Dao Sect's sect master looked calm, but he had doubts in his heart. At that moment, he had a feeling that if he had tried to kill Wang Lin, he would have caused a major disaster. This kind of feeling was extremely rare for him, so he couldn't ignore it. This person is the destined person, so he must have some secret methods. He is very cunning. If we had gone with the original plan, we wouldn't have had to pay such a price. While pondering, the Devil Dao Sect's sect master moved faster and faster toward the center of the Green Devil continent. The location of the Green Devil Scorpion Temple. Suppress this person in the Green Devil Scorpion Temple. Use his body to nourish the Green Devil and use his soul to revive the Green Devil. Leo's speech is often puzzling. What with all the wishing for likes on the video and sharing Leo's work, leading the audience to erupt in laughter, the comment section filled with a lively atmosphere. Several months later, at the center of the Green Devil continent, this place was a large green swamp, and large amounts of bubbles formed over the swamp, giving off the smell of decay. This place was covered in a green fog that came from the bubbles and had gathered for countless years. In this swamp that covered tens of thousands of kilometers, there was a towering building. It was obvious at first glance that this building was a giant scorpion. The scorpion was hundreds of thousands of feet large. It lied on the swamp and looked very lifelike. It released powerful devilish energy, causing most cultivators to be unable to get close. The devilish energy would enter their bodies and cause them to go crazy. Aside from the sect master, all the cultivators of the Devil Dao sect returned to the sect. Only the sect master arrived outside the Green Devil Scorpion Temple with Wang Lin. Only with his cultivation level, he would not be affected by the devilish energy here. At this moment, the sect master appeared next to the huge scorpion building. After he appeared, a weak cough came from below the giant scorpion. This cough was weak, but in this silent environment, it was extremely clear. As the cough slowly approached, 3 figures slowly walked out from the mouth of the scorpion. Among the 3 figures, the 2 in the back wore green Dao robes. They both had the mark of a scorpion on their robes. The two of them looked only middle-aged but gave off the aura of mid-stage void turbulent cultivators. Their expressions were cold, as if they had no emotions. The two of them were like guards guarding a figure covered completely in a green robe. This figure looked extremely old, and as the figure walked out, it coughed. The old figure that was coughing stopped and asked with a hoarse voice, "Did you bring the person back?" The Devil Dao sect master was very polite to the old man hidden in the green robe. He clasped his hands and nodded. "I have brought him here. Take a look, GC." After he spoke, he waved his right hand, and a figure covered in black and white appeared. Wang Lin's eyes were closed as he sat there motionlessly. Very good. He should be very good at suppressing the luck of the Green Devil continent and satisfying Lord Green Devil. The old man looked up. Although his face couldn't be seen, his demonic eyes inside the green robe looked at Wang Lin with satisfaction. The Devil Dao sect master slowly said, "In order to capture him, my Devil Dao sect paid a great price. Once Lord Green Devil has been resurrected, you will have the reward you were promised. But to suppress this person, I'll need your Grand Devil Dao law. You know what to do: erase his origin soul, destroy his mind and memory." The old man's voice was hoarse, and he looked at Wang Lin excitedly. "This person's will is extremely strong. It won't be easy to destroy his mind and memory." The Devil Dao sect master smiled and didn't immediately start. "Cough, in the future, the Green Devil continent will only have one sect, the Devil Dao sect." The old man covered in the green robe coughed violently for a long time before he spoke. "Good. Since GC has given his word, I'll use my full strength and use the Grand Devil Dao law to plant the seed of Devil Dao transformation. Let him destroy his own mind." The Devil Dao sect master laughed and no longer hesitated. His right hand pierced the light and pointed to the spot between Wang Lin's eyebrows. He grabbed the black and white light that was wrapped around Wang Lin and threw it into the huge scorpion building. Wang Lin was suddenly thrown toward the scorpion, creating a howl as he flew. When he landed, a giant vortex appeared on the back of the scorpion and sucked him in. He has many essences in his body. There are a total of 8, and one of them has formed an essence true body. Among the 8, one of them is the same as mine, which is the thunder essence. I'll use this thunder essence as the link to destroy his mind and memory. The Devil Dao sect master sat down. He closed his eyes and remained motionless. The green-robed old man at the mouth of the scorpion turned and walked inside. The cough slowly faded, and the two Green Devil messenger-like guards didn't speak at all as they disappeared into the scorpion. In the deepest part of the scorpion was a void filled with endless green lights. Each green light was a large number of green scorpion souls. They gathered in this space and constantly howled. Wang Lin was sitting inside this space and remained motionless. However, countless green scorpions gathered around him and covered most of his body. His body didn't move, but there were flashes of thunder in his right eye. An essence was moving through his body like crazy. It was his thunder essence. This thunder essence moved around, causing popping sounds to come from his body. Arcs of thunder would spread out across his body. At this moment, Wang Lin was in a coma. His mind and soul were silent with no sign of movement. However, what outsiders couldn't see, not even G-Sai or the Devil Dao sect master, was that a bead was slowly rotating in Wang Lin's soul. Every time it turned once, Wang Lin's soul, mind, and memories would tremble a bit while being protected by a layer of soft light. At this moment, it was as if he was separated from his body. In his strange state, his thunder essence became even more powerful and soon overpowered the rest of his essences. Although it was still a bit inferior to the fire essence that had formed an essence true body, it was getting closer and closer in power. It was as if an invisible passage had been created between Wang Lin's body and the sect master's body. It was slowly fusing with his thunder essence that hadn't formed an essence true body yet. Time slowly passed. In a flash, several months went by. During these months, Wang Lin's thunder essence had become even stronger and thunderous rumbles were echoing in his body. He continued to absorb the Devil Dao sect master's thunder essence that contained its own will. In these few months of time, the Devil Dao sect master who was sitting outside frowned. He didn't expect Wang Lin's thunder essence to absorb so much of his thunder essence and still not form its own will. His original plan was that in just 1 month of time his thunder essence would completely replace Wang Lin's thunder essence. Because his thunder essence contained his will, he could use this method to perfectly erase Wang Lin's divine sense and memories according to GCS request. If not for GCS request, he would use one of the countless other methods to erase Wang Lin's mind. However, those methods were too rough and could leave damage. Even the smallest bit of damage could affect the resurrection of the Green Devil Scorpion in the future. On a day in the 4th month, the Devil Dao sect master would not bear it anymore and said, "GC, I need your help. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to do what you requested." He felt helpless because even though almost all his thunder essence had entered Wang Lin's body, it still couldn't replace Wang Lin's essence to form its own will. This was very strange. It was as if there was a vortex in Wang Lin's body that was absorbing his will. The truth was just as he suspected. Every time the heaven-defying bead turned, aside from protecting Wang Lin, it would also absorb a bit of the foreign entities in Wang Lin's body. "I am here, cough." An ancient voice and hoarse voice came from the scorpion. Before it could finish speaking, there was a violent coughing fit that lasted for a long time before the voice continued. "I have 2 Thunder Emperor beads I got from the Thunder Emperor continent. I originally planned to give them to the Lord once he awakened. I'll give you one," as the voice echoed. There was a bolt of gray lightning. The scorpion shined and a ray of light flew toward the Devil Dao sect master. It instantly closed in and turned into a fist-sized bead. This bead was filled with countless bolts of thunder, and there was the shadow of a chariot inside. There was also the vague figure of a person on the chariot, who looked like the Emperor of Thunder. With the Devil Dao sect master's cultivation level and knowledge, he felt his heart skip a beat. His eyes revealed a strange light, and he struggled for a moment before he gave up on the idea. This was a gift for the green scorpion after it revived, so he wouldn't dare to take it. If not for the need to wipe out Wang Lin's divine sense and memory, GC would have never taken it out. The Devil Dao sect master no longer hesitated. He opened his mouth and inhaled. The countless threads of thunder flew into his mouth and were devoured by him. Before he could keep any, all of them were sucked into Wang Lin's body by the Grand Devil Dao law. Deep inside the scorpion in the green space, Wang Lin's body trembled violently. The thunder essence in his body suddenly powered up greatly and showed signs of forming a thunder essence true body. Leo holds a stuffed bear close to his chest, muttering prayers for likes on the video, sprinkling followers in his shares as the children beside him start to crave. Wang Lin's thunder essence became even more powerful as he continued to absorb. Due to the heaven-defying bead, the Devil Dao sect master was unable to condense his will and erase Wang Lin's mind. However, at this moment, after the Devil Dao sect master devoured the Thunder Emperor bead, the endless thunder essence that entered his body was absorbed by Wang Lin's body like crazy. Wang Lin's body trembled violently and his long hair moved without any wind. Countless arcs of thunder moved around his body and gave off endless thunder might. This thunder might was heaven-shattering, so much so that even this green space trembled. The green light gathered to form a large amount of green scorpions around Wang Lin, and they roared silently. However, as this incredibly powerful thunder essence entered Wang Lin's body and was about to condense the Devil Dao sect master's will, the heaven-defying bead slowly turned. It sucked away some of the will. It was like a fountain that was about to overflow with water suddenly stopped. Then a balance was reached, and the water began to slowly recede. How can this be? Outside the Scorpion building, the Devil Dao sect master in the fog suddenly opened his eyes and revealed a look of disbelief. He could not see the heaven-defying bead inside Wang Lin's body. To him, Wang Lin's body was normal, and he had no idea where his lost will had gone. He wasn't the only one who noticed that something was wrong. Inside the Scorpion temple, the old man named GC also frowned. After muttering a bit, he coughed and waved his sleeve. Another bolt of thunder flew out from the Scorpion building and turned into the same Thunder Emperor bead. It then flew toward the Devil Dao sect master. The old and hoarse voice came out and was mixed with coughing. The last Thunder Emperor bead. Even the Thunder Emperor continent has less than 3% remaining. If you still can succeed, then all the promises from before will be void. The Devil Dao sect master was extremely gloomy. He didn't think it would be this difficult. He stared at the Thunder Emperor bead, and the veins on his face bulged. He then opened his mouth and inhaled. The thunder rushed into his mouth. The moment he devoured the bead, the Devil Dao Sect Master formed a seal and pressed it against his eyebrows. He let out a roar at the sky. "Thunder essence, scatter!" With a roar, all the thunder essence in his body was released by him without any hesitation, and all of it rushed into Wang Lin. This thunder contained all of his will, so he had to succeed this time. The thunder essence also contained a powerful surge of thunder from the second Thunder Emperor bead. It pushed the Devil Dao Sect Master's will toward Wang Lin rapidly. As the indescribable thunder essence rushed forward, Wang Lin's body inside the green space trembled once more. Even more thunder arched around his body and suddenly expanded to more than 1,000 feet in radius. The area 1,000 feet around Wang Lin became a thunder hell. The thunder moved and shined brightly. Wang Lin's head rose outside of his control, and the thunder mark in his right eye flashed 9 times before it flew out. The thunder mark rushed out and turned into a giant thunder mark 1,000 feet above Wang Lin. The moment it appeared, it began absorbing the surrounding thunder like crazy. As the thunder fused with the mark, a human-shaped outline appeared around the thunder mark. This was the outline of an essence true body. Although it hadn't formed yet, judging by its current state, it wouldn't take long before it turned into an essence true body. In a flash, all the thunder around here was absorbed, and then even more thunder erupted from Wang Lin's body. Thunder came out of every pore in Wang Lin's body. It wasn't just one strand of thunder from each of the 108,000 pores, but at least 10 strands of thunder. This was a large amount of thunder, enough to shake the world. The thunder occupied every corner of this space and almost replaced the green light, turning this space into a thunder space. This large amount of thunder rushed into the human outline in the thunder mark. The rumble was so loud that it could be heard clearly outside the Scorpion Temple. The fusion of all this thunder caused part of the Green Devil continent to tremble. The human-shaped outline continued to absorb thunder and grew rapidly. Inside the outline, bones made of thunder began to form. Each bone was formed by countless strands of thunder tightly arranged together. In a flash, a full skeleton had appeared. Shortly after, as large amounts of thunder entered, fine lines appeared, forming the nerves, flesh, and blood. When the last strand of thunder was absorbed, what floated above the unconscious Wang Lin was another Wang Lin. Its eyes were closed and it was surrounded by thunder. It was born from thunder, and just by standing there, it would make all thunder in the world yield. Thunder Essence True Body. The Thunder Essence True Body Wang Lin dreamed of was born in such a way. However, this Essence True Body didn't belong to Wang Lin. Instead, it belonged to the Devil Dao Sect Master. Because this Thunder Essence True Body contained the will of the Devil Dao Sect Master. Outside the Scorpion building, the Devil Dao Sect Master was struggling. He sensed the existence of the Thunder Essence True Body and was shocked. He had underestimated Wang Lin again. He didn't think that Wang Lin's comprehension of this essence would be so deep that after forming the Fire Essence True Body, he would have the potential to give birth to a second Essence True Body. At this moment, the Devil Dao Sect Master was in a dilemma. He longed for the Thunder Essence True Body, but if he took it, he couldn't fulfill GC's request. While he struggled, a cough came from the Scorpion building. When the Devil Dao Sect Master heard this, he revealed a decisive gaze. Compared to the benefits promised by the Green Devil Scorpion once it revives, although the Thunder Essence True Body is precious, it isn't impossible to give up. The Devil Dao Sect Master's hands quickly formed seals, and he pointed to the spot between his eyebrows. He closed his eyes and focused his attention on the Thunder Essence True Body above Wang Lin in the green space inside the Scorpion. The Thunder Essence True Body trembled. With its eyes closed, it raised its right hand and pressed down on Wang Lin below. The moment the hand pressed down, Wang Lin's body trembled. The last 7 strands of Thunder Essence flew out from the orifices of Wang Lin's raised head. They came out of the eyes, ears, nose, and mouth, and the thunder went into the matching orifices on the Thunder Essence True Body one by one. The moment those 7 strands went into the Thunder Essence True Body, it opened its eyes. It revealed a gloomy gaze and was filled with the aura of the Devil Dao Sect Master. Its body trembled, and the thunder of the world trembled with it. Outside the Scorpion, outside the temple, large amounts of shocking thunder appeared over most of the Green Devil continent. Thunderous rumbles rang out loudly and rushed toward the scorpion temple at the center at an unimaginable speed. The speed of this thunder was indescribable, and faster than any thunder. It was like spatial bending. It all rushed into the green space inside the scorpion at the scorpion temple. In an instant, the thunder essence true body was surrounded by this surge of thunder, forming a suit of armor. It also formed a crown on its head. This was the crown of the Thunder Emperor. The moment the crown formed, the endless thunder that was gathering condensed to form a thunder war chariot. It was at this moment that the thunder essence true body was completely formed. Wang Lin's body, which was sitting below, violently trembled. The heaven-defying bead was not hidden but was activated, protecting his origin soul. His awakening was due to that tremble in his heart. The moment Wang Lin awakened, he opened his eyes and saw the thunder essence true body that had formed in the sky. When Wang Lin saw the thunder essence true body, he trembled for a moment. He was still in a daze, but he soon understood everything. He was startled because of the shocking scene that was revealed when he used the Soul Dao for the first time in the Great Soul Sect. That scene was exactly the same as what he was seeing now. Back then, Wang Lin saw that his own thunder essence true body was going to use thunder to suppress him. He didn't understand how his essence true body could possibly do this. After all, the thunder essence body was formed by him and completely belonged to him. What he had seen was impossible, yet it had come true. Leo's birthday has passed. Thank you all for your blessings, your praise. Leo will continue to strive, producing increasingly captivating chapters. Brothers, keep your sharp tongue sheathed, stored away carefully. You are listening to a completely free audiobook on the Leo Audio YouTube channel. If you enjoy the story, please like the video to motivate the channel. Support Leo with a cup of coffee through the description link or on the screen. If you want to hear any other stories, just comment and let Leo know. Thank you very much for watching the video. The Thunder Essence true body coldly looked at Wang Lin, and a thunderous rumble echoed inside the space. It suddenly moved and waved its hand at Wang Lin. Endless thunder shot toward Wang Lin and rapidly suppressed him. Wang Lin sat there and looked up at his essence true body, ruthlessly suppressing him. His expression was gloomy, and now that he had awakened, the image of the Devil Dao Sect Master appeared in his mind. In particular, the formation of the Thunder Essence true body, and this sudden change must be related to the Devil Dao Sect Master. Wang Lin even vaguely felt his aura coming from the Essence true body. He captured me not to kill or injure me, but to take over my Thunder Essence and help me form my Thunder Essence true body. His purpose is not to suppress me, but to use the Essence true body to cause my mind to become chaotic and wipe away my mind. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. In a short period of time, thousands of thoughts appeared in his mind. He had divinated this scene back then, and it shocked him greatly. In order to not be caught off guard, he had already thought of how to deal with it back then. Almost at the same moment the Thunder Essence true body came to suppress him, Wang Lin took a deep breath. His origin soul closed its eyes and called for the heaven-defying bead. The heaven-defying bead in his soul suddenly began to move. Wang Lin's origin soul, memories, and everything began to shrink when the thunder arrived. He retreated temporarily to let the Thunder Essence true body take over his body. Once the Thunder Essence true body had fully integrated into his body, his chance to strike back would come. This was the only method Wang Lin had thought of to resist it when he saw this unbelievable scene. Thunder rumbled inside this green space, and countless bolts of thunder spread out from the Essence true body. As it closed in, it disintegrated into countless bolts of thunder and entered Wang Lin's body. Under the will of the Devil Dao Sect Master, it swept through Wang Lin to erase his mind and everything. Time slowly passed and 1 month went by in a flash. The thunder around Wang Lin gradually disappeared until none remained. He sat there motionless, without any fluctuation of soul or cultivation. Even his vitality seemed almost extinguished. He was like the living dead. A powerful divine sense swept through Wang Lin, and then slowly left. At the same time, the Devil Dao Sect Master outside the Scorpion building opened his tired eyes. He looked at the temple, and his words slowly echoed. After the Devil Dao Sect Master spoke, a cough came from the green space. The old man wearing the green robe used some unknown method to appear in the green space. Behind him, the 2 green devil messengers followed him closely to guard him. He looked at Wang Lin and revealed a satisfied smile. He then raised his right hand from under his robe and pressed it between Wang Lin's eyebrows. His right arm was extremely terrifying and was covered in green hair. It was a shocking sight, and didn't he look like a human arm? The moment his right hand pressed down on Wang Lin, a sliver of fluctuations came from Wang Lin's mind that was protected by the heaven-defying bead. However, under the protection of the heaven-defying bead, an outsider couldn't detect it. The Devil Dao sect master hasn't left. This is not the time to resist. Let us wait a bit more. The fluctuations in Wang Lin's heart slowly calmed down. After a long time, the arm rose from Wang Lin's head, and shortly after, a hoarse voice came from the old man in green. You can leave. After Lord Green Devil revives, you will have what was promised to you. Outside the Scorpion building, the Devil Dao sect master's eyes revealed a strange light. He took one final glance at the temple before he disappeared from this place. Only after the Devil Dao sect master was gone, did the old man in the green robe look at Wang Lin with excitement in his eyes. This old man's family has waited for a long time. Generations of mortals have become GC for countless years until a body that came from outside this world appeared. Just like Lord Green Devil. Only this kind of body can be possessed by the Lord Green Devil to allow him to revive. However, the Devil Dao sect master's will needs to be erased from the Thunder Essence true body, the old man muttered to himself as he looked at Wang Lin excitedly. His voice echoed inside the green space, revealing a hint of strangeness and madness. Wang Lin's mind was still hidden under the heaven-defying bead's protection. He had a feeling that the current crisis was not a life or death struggle, but a great fortune that made his heart skip a beat. The old man in the green robe trembled. His family had waited countless years and many generations for this day. He took a deep breath and bit the tip of his finger. A drop of green blood flew out and landed between Wang Lin's eyebrows. The moment the drop of green blood landed between Wang Lin's eyebrows, a green ripple echoed. The ripple spread out, and the Devil Dao sect master deliberately or accidentally disappeared completely. The essence true body formed by thunder no longer had the will of anyone else. Wang Lin only needed to move his will inside to occupy it. However, for an even greater fortune, he endured this temptation. After a long time, the green-robed old man's eyes revealed a spark of wisdom. He didn't have to say these words before Wang Lin. This was all his test. The fact that he had obtained the title of GC of the Green Scorpion Temple with the body of a mortal meant that he was very intelligent. He would not casually believe what he saw, and he would question everything. He first used his words, then he erased the Devil Dao sect master's will from the Thunder Essence true body. He was tempting Wang Lin to see if Wang Lin's mind was completely erased. After waiting for a long time, the Thunder Essence body still hadn't lured Wang Lin out. Only then did the old man relax a bit, and felt assured. He couldn't detect the heaven-defying bead or Wang Lin, but he still murmured to himself, "This body is very good. The next step is for Lord Green Devil's possession." As he spoke, his eyes squinted and he slowly retreated. When he was hundreds of feet away, he suddenly roared with a hoarse voice. "Green Devil guards, kill him. His mind is still there. Open the Green Devil formation. We can allow him to escape." After he spoke, he quickly retreated, but his eyes revealed a strange light as he stared at Wang Lin. As he roared, the Green Devil messengers beside him revealed ferocious gazes and charged at Wang Lin from the left and right. As they closed in, their hands formed seals and their mid-stage void turbulent cultivation erupted. Two giant green scorpions appeared. They hissed and roared as they rushed toward Wang Lin. This didn't look like a test at all. It seemed like they were really going to kill Wang Lin. At this moment, Wang Lin's only choice was to spread out his mind into the Thunder Essence true body, leave his will on it, and activate the Heavenly Bull Soul armor to kill the three of them before quickly fleeing this place. The old man in the green robe's words were very sudden, and if it was anyone else, they would have done this. However, Wang Lin's heart moved for a moment and suddenly calmed down. He was like an ancient well. His heart wasn't disturbed at all. He absolutely didn't believe the other party could detect the heaven-defying bead. This was a battle of wits. All of this happened in a flash. The spells from the Green Devil messengers closed in on Wang Lin and were less than 7 inches away, but Wang Lin's body didn't move. 6 inches, 5 inches, 3 inches, 1 inch. A powerful life and death crisis appeared in Wang Lin's heart. Even with his determination, he was shaken, but he still remained motionless. With a thunderous bang, the two spells from the two messengers landed on Wang Lin's body. However, when their attacks landed, a layer of green light rippled and knocked the two of them back. This green ripple was formed by the fresh blood GC had squeezed out. His blood scattered the Devil Dao Sectmaster S will and seemed to have disappeared, but it was actually an ace he had left to test Wang Lin. Only at this moment did the green-robed old man relax completely and began to laugh loudly. However, as he laughed, he began to cough violently. There is no problem now. This body no longer has a consciousness and mind, but it is still too weak. It still needs to be cultivated a bit before it can bear the descent of Lord Green Devil. Though he has 8 essences, he doesn't have Earth. Lord Green Devil's essence is Earth. I need to add it. This body has 8 essences, and with the Earth essence it will be 9 essences together will make this an essence body. A perfect match for the arrival of Lord Green Devil. Once Lord Green Devil revives and possesses this body, I'll have completed my family's mission. I will then be able to return to the central continent and bring fortune to the future of my family. This matter is too important, so I need to prepare a bit more. The old man coughed and slowly left. Leo truly didn't realize today was May 20th. Leo's already married, not caring about this day at all. Truly no intention, I'm already married, yes, just like that. CHIRP. The moment the old man in green and the 2 green devil messengers left, Wang Lin's body remained motionless in the green space. Countless specks of green light flashed constantly. Every strand of light had the shadow of a green scorpion, and they filled up this green space. Time slowly passed. In a flash, 3 months went by. During these 3 months, Wang Lin sat still. There was no movement or vitality at all coming from him. His body was covered in green light, and if you looked closely, you would see countless green scorpions spreading across his body. During this 3-month period, Wang Lin's origin soul had slowly waited while being protected by the heaven-defying bead. He had enough patience for what he felt was a great fortune. The green-robed old man was extremely suspicious. Wang Lin didn't believe the old man would easily believe that he was already gone. What awaited Wang Lin was likely several more tests, until the old man felt certain enough to give Wang Lin the great fortune. Although Wang Lin couldn't guess what kinds of tests he would have to overcome in the future, he was prepared. He calmly waited under the protection of the heaven-defying bead. To not change and a form of change, this was Wang Lin's plan. He allowed the green scorpions to cover his body. Some had even entered his mouth and nose, but he did nothing. Time unknowingly began to pass once more. 3 months, 3 months, 3 months soon, Wang Lin spent 1 year inside the green space after the old man in green left. After reaching his current cultivation level, his body wouldn't decay for tens of thousands of years. His body didn't change during this year, but even more green scorpions had covered his body. Inside this green space, the scorpions already considered Wang Lin as part of them. This place was like a dungeon, and it gave off a gloomy aura. At this moment, if anyone else saw the scene inside the screen space, they would be shocked. Wang Lin no longer existed. The only thing that remained was a human-shaped mound. Wang Lin's origin soul remained as calm as an ancient well, and didn't reveal any fluctuations inside the heaven-defying bead. During this year of time, the green-robed old man didn't appear again, as if he had forgotten Wang Lin. There was not a trace of anyone in the Scorpion building. A strange aura was born in this silence. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. On this day, the 4th year slowly arrived. In the green space inside the Scorpion building, Wang Lin's origin soul struggled. He had waited here for 4 years. During these 4 years, the green-robed old man didn't appear at all. His body underwent a strange change due to the green scorpions that were covering his body. This change was the root of his struggle. Egg-like green lights appeared in his 108,000 pores. These lights had appeared 2 years ago, and after they broke open, they absorbed Wang Lin's flesh and blood to form young scorpions. The scorpions were using Wang Lin's body as a nesting ground and a source of nutrients. After 4 years, the number of scorpions occupying this space had almost doubled. Not only did they cover Wang Lin, but they also covered most of the ground. It was a shocking sight. The appearance of the young scorpions caused wrinkles to appear on Wang Lin's body. His body gradually withered as it was used as nutrients for the scorpions. Taking note of this development, Wang Lin had a strong feeling that if he didn't take control of his body and leave soon, he would never be able to leave. He also understood why the green-robed old man hadn't appeared and hadn't put him through any more tests. It was because time was the best test. There was no better tool than time to see through something and find the truth. Wang Lin guessed that the old man was using time to begin a very cruel test on Wang Lin. Only when this test satisfied him would he complete his original plan. Wang Lin didn't know what the consequences would be if the result of this test was not satisfactory. If there was no problem and his body didn't wither, Wang Lin could wait 10 years, 1,000 years. If he really wanted to wait, then with his decisiveness and determination, he could endure it. However, right now the withering of his body made Wang Lin struggle. His firm belief was shaken because everything was just a speculation. He had no real clues to prove any of this. If his speculation was wrong and he didn't leave now, his body would wither completely and he would miss the real opportunity. He would forever remain here. Similarly, if his judgment was wrong, he would lose a great fortune. This was a choice that made Wang Lin struggle. This struggle lasted for a year. On the 5th year, the struggle disappeared. Wang Lin decisively cut off all other thoughts. With a crazed belief in his own speculation, he calmly waited. The 6th year, the 7th year, the 8th year, the withering on his body spread to most of his body, but his mind still didn't move. The 9th year, the 10th year, his body was surrounded by large amounts of scorpions, and it looked like a bag of bones without any nutrients. It looked like his body would collapse from a gentle breeze, but Wang Lin was still waiting. 10 years. He had waited inside the green space for 10 years. For the past 10 years, he had no idea what had happened outside. Whether the battle between the Green Devil continent and the Heavenly Bull continent was still ongoing, or if it had ended. During these 10 years, Wang Lin's origin soul didn't control his body. It remained hidden under the protection of the heaven-defying bead. He was using his great endurance to gamble. What supported his belief was his judgment and analysis. That green-robed old man was obviously a mortal, but Wang Lin felt a sense of terror from him. That old man could make the Devil Dao sect master act politely.